All right. Quijano right back in time because I thought I was about to start it on the first episode without him.
Of course not, man.
was
This is
really funny.
the first official, bro. We got to be here.
Guys,
We got to do it right.
I'm yelling at Quijano. We have 30 seconds until it starts. And he's like, I'm going to the bathroom.
I did. I even washed my hands. Look, they're still wet.
It's like, I'm going to be back. And then Jamarco, our producer, is basically just like, in the back. It's just like, he's like, I'm just going to start it and you better get back on time. So that was very funny. That was a great way to start it. Super clean. Nobody would have known.
At all. No. I mean, it's a good thing we didn't bring it up.
Yeah, 100%. So, guys, we've done it. Profit and Paradox. This has been something me and Quijano have been like trying to get. Me and him, like we were supposed to start this May 1st. A lot of it was my fault. A few things could have been done better. But we're here now. We're doing this. And we've been trying to do this for like 2 months. I've been trying to get a podcast with you for like 2 years. But you're way too cool for me. So I had to become cooler for him to accept. And
I had to become more attractive. But like, let's talk about it, man. The issue was I didn't feel like my swag level was efficient enough to sit next to you in a podcast. But I feel like I do like 3 push-ups a week now. And so like I'm almost there.
That's like all the excuses bad first dates give me as to why they aren't showing up, which is the topic today, right?
So let's talk about the podcast, bro. Let's give people an introduction of what we even decided to do here. Let's give them a little. Guys, today's topic is going to be fun, right? We're going to have a really good time today. We're going to get into some pretty saucy stuff. I imagine there is going to be some heated debate going back and forth today, which is the plan. That's what we're hoping for. But nevertheless, this is not all we're going to be discussing. We actually plan on talking about a lot of different things, and we wanted to take a different approach. So kind of talk about like where we came from, man, and how this was originated, what we decided to end up doing, and all that.
Yeah, I mean, Profit and Paradox, we always talk about real estate, right? Everyone's constantly talking about real estate, how to make money. That's fun and it's cool. But also sometimes we just want to be hilarious. Sometimes we want to talk about interesting things that are happening in the world and like just talk about interesting things, talk about like debates, talk about things that people are talking about instead of just always talking about real estate, always talking about money. Because sometimes we also want to just be hilarious and have a good time, right? Like what is the point of making money unless you're going to have a good time? And like me and Quijano like would have phone calls and it'd be so hilarious and we'd be cracking each other up. But like, why not share that with the world? You know, like why leave that to just me and him, you know? So we're just like, why don't we just have it where we talk about really interesting topics? We'll bring on different guests. We're going to be incredibly interactive with you guys about whatever topic it is. Right. We might even bring some of you guys on if you're funny enough, you know, if you crack me up in the comments. But yeah, like, why not just do something different than what everyone else is doing, you know, and like talk about different things other than real estate and just tell our opinions on that and just, you know,
because life's bigger than work, right? I mean, at least it should be. Like, don't get me wrong. A lot of us are in real estate. A lot of us are in business, and that takes up a big portion of our lives. But there's more to life than that. So let's talk about all the things. You know what I mean? It will be like the old school cornflake commercials, all part of a balanced breakfast. We're going to be part of your balanced content consumption. That's what we're doing. When they zig, you zig, just like that. Shout out to anybody who caught that reference. Fun fact, Jonah, when I told Jess about this podcast, you know the first thing she did?
I don't know what.
Reminded me of our picture in Vegas riding a dragon together.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I was like, when I saw Jess like commenting even before the podcast starts, I'm like, yeah, you remember Vegas, like Clever Investor Summit, like 2 years ago? That was super freaking fun.
Long time ago.
That was a good time.
Crazy. Yeah, so it's going to be good, guys. We're doing this for you guys. We're doing this for us. It's going to be a really great opportunity for us to kind of get together. So we say all that to say this. As you guys are here, we see you guys as a part of the family. The extended family is going to be a family that grows. Bring the cool topics, right? Joel's talking about all the topics: spiritual, mental, physical, financial, political, all of the things. Let's discuss all of the things. It should all be on the table. We should all have a voice. And I think there's a place where you can have a good time and do the debates. And I think there's another place where you just need to be able to sit down and listen to another person's perspective on a topic and have a safe place where you can discuss those things without necessarily being judged. You're always going to have people in the comments doing crazy stuff, but it's going to be fun. I'm really excited about this. Jonah, what are we talking about tonight, bro? How are we getting started with this whole entire
thing? We are starting this off with, I think, one of the most hilarious ones. Today's going to be a really funny one, guys. It's going to be bad first dates and like kind of date etiquette a little bit about like how what it should be, how like date etiquette should be, all of that stuff. We're going to get into some really funny bad first dates. We're going to get into some personal stories of mine where I've screwed up a few dates, where the girl screwed up a few dates.
Not you.
It's going to be no, I screwed up a few. You know, like there's one in my head that I thought about for this, where I was like, wow, the more I think about it, like thinking back, I was like, damn, that was not the right thing to do. So we're going to talk about it. It's just going to be really funny. I would say what do you feel about starting with the question, should the man pay for the first date?
So let me do this.
Or do you want to switch it to something else?
I mean, Joe, I will not confirm or deny whether or not what you just said is an accurate statement.
That's a confirmation. That's a confirmation if I've ever heard that before. Here's the statement, by the way, guys. I'm putting it up there.
Yeah, I'm blast,
I can't confirm, no, or deny. That means confirm.
Maybe not. Maybe. But okay. So here's where this all started. Who here remembers? Do any of you guys remember? This has been a couple months. This is sometime last year now, where there was this big debate on Cheesecake Factory, right? Like Cheesecake Factory, is it an acceptable first date? And this became like a whole thing. It was like a trending topic, and there were tons and tons and tons of ladies saying, nah, fam, if you invite me to the Cheesecake Factory on a first date, it's a wrap. So it sparked this big controversy, like, what are you talking about? What's wrong with the Cheesecake Factory? That's a nice restaurant. And so there was this big debate on, is it a nice enough place? Is it disrespectful to take somebody to a chain restaurant for their first dates? And so that's what really made me prompt this conversation, because I have not been on a first date in a long time. Last time I went on a first date, it was a wrap. I did karaoke. Me and LL Cool J handled our business, and the lady sitting upstairs right now. That's all I'm saying. But it's been a long time, so I've been out the game. We have people that will be joining us tonight who are more recent to the game. But like, what changed? When did the Cheesecake Factory become a bad spot? I thought Cheesecake Factory was nice. Maybe I'm ignorant. So shout out to Yvonne, who was witness to the LL Cool J swag. It's a step above Applebee's. Oh, Ashley's in here. Ashley, you got to come up here tonight and tell some of your stories. Ashley has some definite first date stories. Shout out to Yvonne Cano, who was in the chat. She was the recipient of the LL Cool J karaoke swag, and that was it. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. But so she said, you're obviously not a foodie. See, so Jess is looking at it.
We're getting some opinions.
So now we're getting some opinions here. So like, that's where it started for me. And then it made me think, okay, if that's off the table, like what's on the table at this point? Right? Is there, like, where did we go from here? Do dudes still have to pay? It's 2024. I don't even know if that's the thing. Am I disrespectful for paying for the first date? Am I being chauvinistic? I don't know. I don't understand, Jonah. So hopefully tonight people will educate me.
So here's where I'm gonna throw out some things here. I think it's completely based on the expectation you give the girl. That's what I'm gonna throw out here, right?
Okay.
Here's how I always think about it. You should be inviting a girl into your world as the guy. That's how I always view it. So do you usually eat at the Cheesecake Factory, right? I think it's a really good idea to bring a girl to the Cheesecake Factory if you're constantly eating at the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Okay.
Don't do that if you don't eat at the Cheesecake Factory, right? And you actually, like, I don't know why you would do that if you don't even like the Cheesecake Factory. But like, let's say you think it's impressive or something, like it's not a good look, right? Okay. In college, I took a girl on a first date to In-N-Out, right? Like, it didn't really matter, but In-N-Out is fire, right? Like, it's incredible. The question is really what matters is like, are you able to make it like an enjoyable experience? I think most of the time is what really matters, right? So that's how I feel about it. Like, most of my first dates now is ice cream because I fucking love ice cream. Excuse my French, but like I'll just take a girl to ice cream, and that works out pretty well most of the time because it's incredible ice cream. So, I mean, that's cheaper than the Cheesecake Factory if someone's trying to like save on money, you know? So I don't know. That's how I feel about it in the sense that it's fine, but like, yeah, it just depends. Like you're showing the girl what they should expect dating you, like what type of places you're gonna go, like what type of things you like doing, right? That's generally like how I think about it is I'm gonna do something that I want to do anyways, and hopefully the girl is cool too and likes that stuff. And if she doesn't, oh well, I got ice cream.
So let's do this. I want to hear some opinions out this. What I think we'll do is maybe we'll throw the StreamYard link into the chat, so that people can just like hop in if they have a story.
That's gonna be chaos, but okay.
It's gonna be chaos. Let's bring I want madness in this podcast because I want to hear opinions on this. And so I'm interested in hearing from y'all. Jamarco, I don't know if you have any. Yvonne sent me a couple. So I actually want to watch some of these videos. Okay, all right, hold on. Let's do this. Jamarco, here's what I'm going to do, bro. I'm going to send you a link. Hold on. Let me figure out how to do this. I'm going to send Jamarco a link, and maybe he can play it here. I don't know how he's going to do it. Jamarco, do you know how to play? We can just share the screen, right? You can just share the screen.
Share his screen, and then he'll play it. He knows how to do it.
I'm sending him a couple. So, because what I want to do is I want to watch some of these videos, and I just want to get feedback because some people have like really, really strong opinions.
We also have our special guest here. I know you see that, right?
Okay, let's do it. Eddie's here.
I just want you to know. I want you to be. Okay. All right. You spoiled the special guest. We were going to bring.
Okay. No. Here's why. Not everybody knows his full name. He came with his brand already on, and I'm not talking about the one on his shirt. Okay. I can see it through the blurry video at the bottom. He's fully branded right now.
I just want you to be aware of that. That whenever you're ready to bring him up, I think Eddie. I think you got my text that like. That it might be like a little bit while we're doing the intro and all that, I think. But anyways, I just want you to make sure you know our special guest here.
Yeah, here we go. I am sending, hold on, let's go.
Okay, wait, what did people think of what I just said though? People in the comments, did you guys agree with me that like taking someone to the Cheesecake Factory is fine as long as you're like realizing that's the life you're showing them is their life is going to be a Cheesecake Factory life. So
wait, what does a Cheesecake Factory life look like?
That's what you're eating at the Cheesecake Factory for the next 40 years, dude. That's what it means.
Wait, hold on. What's a Cheesecake Factory life? I feel like, okay, so tacos. I feel like some people are sushi people, right? And I feel like sushi people are a brand. Then you got taco people. I feel like taco people are also a brand. What are Cheesecake Factory people? I don't know what that is.
I don't know, dude. I don't even know who eats at the Cheesecake Factory.
I have not been to the Cheesecake Factory. I haven't eaten at the
Cheesecake Factory in like a decade, dude. I have no idea, bro. Like you gotta like the point is that when you take the girl to the Cheesecake Factory, they're expecting a Cheesecake Factory life, right? That's how I feel about it, you know? So like you want to bring them into your life, right? That's how I view it. Some people are. There's some interesting ones. Jess is like, what about sushi tacos? You know, Fruitcake Factory. I'll eat tacos and sushi in the same meal. Yeah, that'd be fire. I mean, tacos and sushi
sounds like a stomachache waiting to happen.
I love
that. Sounds concerning. Okay, I want to watch some of these videos. Jamarco, are you in a position to get some of the? And if you need to unmute, it's okay, bro. You can say something. You can use your words. If you let us know if you can share one of these. I feel like at the end of this Zoom, we may hook some people up. People may be dating by the end of this podcast, Jonah. It might be a thing.
Oh yeah. Well, who knows?
All right. So we're going to get a couple of these up. And we're going to play a couple of them because I want to hear, make sure you share audio. I don't know if that's a default thing. But I genuinely, I want to hear, people's sushi Mexican fusion. You guys I've been to that place, the sushi Mexican place. I've been there, I think. All right, let's hear how this thing goes. Hopefully it doesn't give too much feedback. Because I want to see this, because this was like an actual like big problem. Here we go. Oh, you got to log in? Completely unprepared. Is this you, Jonah, or is this
Jamarco?
This is Jamarco.
I'm not doing any of this.
Just stop sharing the screen.
No, keep going.
No, we're gonna watch this.
Keep
Are we
going.
going?
Keep
Okay,
going.
just log in.
No,
bro.
we're here. We're here now.
We're committed. Give us your username and password to TikTok, Gianmarco.
All right. While we're waiting, though, people in the chat. Oh, he has to. All right. He's got to figure that out. All right, people in the chat.
Let's bring some people up. You want to bring some people up?
Well, I mean, we got our 2 guests. You want to bring them up?
Let's bring a couple of the guests up. Let's do it. Let's bring these handsome bros up. You guys ready?
All right,
blink twice if you're ready.
I'm bringing him up. What's up, boys?
There we go. He was not ready. We caught him unprepared.
The Bash Bros, dude. I love you guys so much. I'm so happy you guys could make it to this. I was like, dude, you know who would be so goddamn hilarious, especially for this episode?
100%.
Is these two. Honestly, bro. Like, they're like, I'm excited for your guys' first date stories and your guys' opinion on this as well. So thank you guys for being here.
Appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having us. This is exciting. First episode of a new venture is always an excitement for sure.
Yes. It is fun. Ashley, you're right. I don't think either one of these boys are single. Here's the thing. If you guys look at Eddie's face right there, you know that mustache has stories. Right? Look at the way he's caressing it right now. There is no world in which that mustache does not have stories that are appropriate for this podcast. Eddie, you know, I mean this with all the love in my heart. My assumption in my head when I invited ladies to bring their first date horror stories, they were talking about you. Just so
in my head, they're all Eddie. Every single one is Eddie. We just go through Eddie's exes.
That's it. We could do a whole series on this based on. But so let me ask you this, Eddie. In your, be honest, bro. This is a safe space.
Oh, yeah.
In your opinion, do you think you are some ladies' first date horror stories, or like memories they're going to tell their friends about when they're married in 15 years, but they still remember that Eddie guy? Or is it going to be like a combination? Like what's the voting tally out there for dates with Eddie G?
One. I'm just going to bring that up there because I think that's funny also.
Oh my God.
Mario and Luigi. So okay, first and foremost, I didn't go on dates for a specific reason.
And you were saving yourself for Jesus?
Well, that too.
Okay.
But the truth is I've never been a single dude. I've never been a Tinder dude. So let's put it that way.
Okay.
Right. So because I'm never a Tinder dude, I can never be like, oh yeah, hey, what's up? Like I sucked at picking up chicks. Like I tried it for like a week and I was like, I'm out. Ask Tyler. I'll be single for a little bit. And I'm like, he goes, yo, get Tinder. I tried it out and I was just like, nah, it ain't for me. Right. So then my Tinder was going to the country bars, the bars, and showing them that these hips don't lie. Right. And then that's when it's not just it's no longer a first date horror story, but it's more or less like a broken heart story.
So you just never went on dates. You just met
Never.
the girl and immediately went for the hookup.
No, actually they went for the hookup. I didn't.
There you
go. So it's a show you better than I can tell you situation.
It's the I'm gonna pull away. No pun intended. And so kind of like thing, you know what I'm saying? And I say it the most humble and respectful way as possible as well, guys. I truly was not ask Tyler. I was not that kind of person. I'm definitely a very big
Tyler, was he that type of person? Tell the real tell the real answer.
A chick magnet. I mean, before 75 hard, I'm gonna say no.
Wow.
After 75 hard, I think that changed.
Wait, so are we dealing with an ugly duckling situation here, Eddie? Is this?
Actually, it wasn't even an ugly. It wasn't even a ugly duckling situation. What it was a confidence. I had confidence in the world that I can become your best friend. I had all the confidence in the world that you're gonna love me to death, right? But I didn't have all the confidence in the world inside myself to say, like, I you know, it's funny because people are like, oh, 75 hard, this allows you to build you self-confidence, discipline. Well, if you're in like, I tell this to like everybody. Ask Tyler tells it for me at this point, right? Like back in the day, it wasn't that I was ugly. It was just I was overweight, and I knew that I was overweight, but I didn't let it get to me to say, "Oh, I'm going to talk down about myself," or "I don't want to go out," right? But I just didn't have the confidence to say, "I'm going to walk into this room and pick up any chick or talk to any chick," because every time I would go do that, I'd go do it as a like, "Hey, what's up? I love you look beautiful, blah blah blah," but I wouldn't hit on them, right? I wouldn't hit on them. I would just go up to say
Interesting.
like, I'd say like, hey, like, wow, you look amazing. Like, let's go dancing, or like super like friend on friend, non-intrusive, non like bad boy, non any of this. It was super friendly, super big teddy bear kind of approach. And I knew that I wasn't, because all my girlfriends have been very pretty, right? Like beautiful, like whatnot, right? So I haven't had an issue getting the hottest. Like in high school, I got in my opinion, one of the hottest girls that even like some of my best friends now, or some of my close friends that when I went to that were in my grade, all said like, I don't know how you got that, right? But I was still overweight, but because she got to know me, right?
Okay.
And became that. But then it got to a point I did 75 hard, and I didn't want to spend all that extra time becoming your best friend. It was more or less like, look, I'm living my life, and if you want to come for the ride, that's why we have a mustache. So at the end of the day, it's like I'm just playing, dude. But realistically,
Um,
it was one of those things. So it was like post 75 hard. Tyler, you brought up a good point there. Post 75 hard, it built this confidence that when I walked in the room, like I already knew that I can do anything that I wanted, but I chose not to. I wasn't a player. I didn't go to the girl to say, "Wow, you're hot. You want to go around the corner." I was never that person, ever. I was more or less like I knew what I wanted. I knew what I liked. Like if you were staring at me, or you're trying to get my attention, I didn't really care because I was so on my high horse of me being loving my life for the first time ever for 75 hard, being in the best shape, knowing that everything that I said I was gonna do, I was going that I like my word is there. Like I am going to do it. Right. So it doesn't matter what this person thinks, says, or even admires, looks, or whatever. I'm there because of me. And then if we happen to connect, great. If you happen to throw yourself on me and you're attractive, okay. I mean, I guess you're taking
wait,
me
hold
home.
on. So first of all, let me say this. That's actually a really cool story. I did not know that about you.
I
That
love
was
several different things
fantastic.
about that.
Yes, and we're going to discuss that. There was a video that y'all shared.
Oh,
I just want to know if we can share that this evening so that people can see what Eddie's talking about when he says throw yourself at me. Because just to be clear, he's got video evidence of this happening, y'all. Like we have it on at the ready. So we're gonna pull that up. We also Jamarco's also ready for these clips. So I want to here's a couple things that I want to do, right? One, I want to watch some of these clips because I want to get the feedback out here in the world about these topics, and I want to hear everybody's perspective. Also, I want some ladies. We got some dudes up here. We got another dude in the background we're going to bring up here soon. We need some ladies' opinions on this topic. So while we bring all this stuff up, however, Jonah, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Actually, you know what? I want to circle back because I think what Eddie just said is actually a part of a more important conversation. I don't think we're ready for the important conversation yet. You guys remember, you guys are probably too young for this. Anybody watching remember like TGIF back in the day? Does anybody remember TGIF? Is there anybody watching?
No,
Jonah,
dude.
you don't know what TGIF is?
thank God it's Friday, or the restaurant.
I know. Thank God it's Friday.
It's the TV stuff on Fridays.
Was it?
That's
Did they have
where-
color?
Yeah,
Was it like a color, or was it still like black and white?
I can't stand you.
Nobody knows what you're talking about, bro.
Was it on one
I
of
don't
like,
think they
like TVs?
I hate every single one of you so much.
We're
right
in
now.
our 20s, bro. I feel like I could like
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
in a podcast with infants. All right, so it's like okay for all of the adults in the room, you guys know what I'm talking about. For the children, we'll tell them a story. So it was a wholesome family programming that would take place on Friday nights. It would be where you had Family Matters and maybe The Fresh Prince in Full House. These were the shows that would be playing. Well, here's the thing about these shows. At the end of all of those shows, you had like a wholesome takeaway. You had a bunch of stuff that happened during the show. Then you ended with a wholesome takeaway. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate you. Prince Edwards, thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to the adults that are on the podcast right now. So we're gonna let what Eddie just said, because I think Eddie, what he just said is very important. He's gonna be a part of the wholesome takeaway today. But before we get to the wholesome part, we got to get into the drama. So, Jamarco, apparently you are logged in to all the things. Wait, hold on. Can we get Mike out of the abyss right now? Poor Mike's just sitting there chilling in the background. Mike G, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, bro?
Just being patient, bro.
Just being patient. Patience is a virtue.
I'm just sitting here like, yo, I want to hang out with my friends. What the heck?
This is a good crew. I love this podcast too, just because I get to see all of you guys. Like, Mike, I haven't talked to you in a freaking minute, dog.
Word up. What's up, gang?
It's been since fucking freaking Avengers, I feel like. Like, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Also, there are way too many dudes in this. We're going to have to mix this up. Okay, so let's start with this. This is just one of the many videos that went out there. Ladies, fellas, give us your opinion on this. Does she have a point? Is she crazy? Does he have a point? Is he cheap? Let's hear what this thing's all about. And there's no volume.
I can't hear it. Did you share the system audio, Jamarco?
Jamarco, you have one job.
This is first. This is first. This is first episode issues.
Can we get some love to Jamarco in the background, trying to make all of the things work? It's his first time.
Give up for Jamarco. He's killing it right now.
I'm gonna mess with him, but yeah, this is definitely not it. You got to stop the share, and then just stop sharing. Stop it right now.
You have to figure out what's going on right now.
Stop sharing. There you go.
Let's talk about it.
Look for the share the audio part. See if you can do that.
Okay, while we're waiting for that though, I want to talk about something that Eddie said, right? He is literally changing like how most people talk about even like hitting on girls or trying to get girls. He phrases it where he's the prize, right? He phrases it where it's like they got lucky to be with me. They picked me up, right? Can you just really quick, Eddie, explain why you did that? Like, I know why you did that, but for the people who aren't getting as late as much, why do you do that?
Did you just say you said late, right? When I heard you
late,
say
yeah.
Okay,
correct.
all right.
Because
hold on, Jonah. Just so we're clear, everybody on this screen except for Jonah is in a relationship. So
okay, all right, we're gonna throw it out there.
Now, baby.
I have had intercourse before in my life. I'm gonna throw it out there. As someone who's had intercourse, I can talk about this subject.
Wait, is this whole podcast?
Screw off, Quijano.
You guys come up with this idea because you wanted advice from us on how to get laid, or
maybe that's
what it is.
Joke. This is really all undercover for Jonah, so he can.
I got my otter notes. All right. I got the transcript ready.
Jonah, just go watch hits, bro.
Yeah. All right, this makes sense now.
It all makes sense.
Right. No, to kind of reiterate what I was saying. I don't know. I've always had two kinds of people, right? You always get the friends that go and shoot and like try to shoot their shot with everybody, but the second you walk in, yeah, it's good to say, "Hey, what's up? How are you doing?" Like the second I walked into a club, like it's funny because there's a story, right? And I can say it really quick, but Joseph and Tyler, Joseph, another sub 2 student here in Arizona. Joseph Frangos. He came into town. He goes, "Hey, let's go get some food, whatever." So am I kind of like blotchy right now?
No, you're good.
No,
all right, cool.
I see you fully well.
Perfect.
You look good.
And so we're hanging out, and they asked me the same thing. They're like, "Bro, I just finished up 75 hard. I was almost finished up, I think it was." And he goes, "Hey, how's 75 hard treating?" And I'm like, "Bro, it's the best thing." Tyler's like, Tyler saw me. He was there every single day with me. And I was like, it's the best thing in the whole wide world. The confidence level is through the roof. Like, I don't care what you have to say about me because I'm confident in myself, right? So we're going to this like restaurant, this Barrow's Pizza, actually, funny or not. But I tell him like, bro, it's funny because I literally before I'd walk into a place and I'd be like, all right, like who's everybody scopes, right? There's always that scope. Like I'm like, all right, who's all here? Blah, blah, blah. And so to me, it's like I told him like now I walk in there and I'm scoping for other reasons. I'm scoping to see if like there's any threats or like, you just don't know if there's any crazy people who to watch out for, right? You go to a restaurant, you don't put your back against the front door. You just
What
never do that.
restaurant are you going to that you have to scan for potential threats?
Bro, there's weirdness going on everywhere. Like it is what it is.
He lives in Phoenix, remember?
That's fair.
I don't know.
But the funny
Albuquerque
part
is
is not
pretty bad
related-
myself.
The funny
so.
part is I relate with, it was many years of my life until I felt comfortable sitting with my back somewhat near a door. So I get that. Believe in yourself. This is all the things. We're talking about all the things tonight. And tonight we're having a first date debate and we're talking about some other stuff. Not everything has to be about real estate. We're having fun. Hope you do too. Go ahead, bro.
And so I tell Joseph, I'm like, dude, 75 Hard has changed everything, dude. Like literally I walk into a place, like before I try to be like impressed, be like the person, like get the attention because I love attention. Tyler knows that. But I love attention, but because I like to, you know, make it sure everybody around me is having a great time, enjoying themselves, smiling, you know, having your downtime, good luck around me, that you're going to have a good time around me. Like I'm going to cheer you up. Right. But I did that. But also I would do that to see if like there's a good looking group of girls, and I would sort of migrate to go do that over there. But now I told them, like, I walk into places, it gets to a point where I always have to tell someone no. Like they would come up to me and they'll be like, hey, what's up? Like try to hit on me. And so when I would realize is that the more I kept on going up to girls, the more rejection I got, but the more kind of like confident in who you are when you walk into a place, the more people were throwing themselves on you. Or girl, like I say people because you know it's literally people were throwing themselves on you. And so that's exactly what ended up happening at Barrows. This lady comes up with like, can I have a drink? Or can I sit here? And it's literally Joseph, Tyler, myself. And Joseph's like, yeah, like sure, you know. And Joseph's hilarious. We all get along. It's like we joke around about everything. And she's talking, and he's like mid sentence to her, and she like turned around, looks at me, and was just like, "You're hot." Like in the middle, as Joseph's mid conversation, mid sentence, and I look at Tyler and Joseph, and I'm like, dude, this is not me being like braggadocious or anything. I literally told him like, and they're just like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, everywhere when I walk into a place, I don't walk in looking for the girl. I walk in because I want to be there. I'm there for me. I'm there to have a good time with my people. And if I connect with someone or someone comes to me, great. But I'm no longer going to be like fishing. I am the fish.
Okay. I am the fish. Okay.
Love it.
We're going to talk about this more. Jamarco.
Catch of the day, baby.
Let's catch of the day. Eddie, the catch of the day. Let's see.
I took down notes. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, we're talking about this. This is definitely part of the wholesome takeaway. Jamarco, let's see if this works now, bro. Let's see. There we go.
He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car.
So you expect a man to go all out on the first date? Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. Look at me.
Wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, well,
Look at me. I cannot go in the Cheesecake Factory.
there's nothing.
I will die. That's embarrassing.
Then maybe we're not ready in a relationship for such a nice, fancy restaurant as Aria. Especially if I'm paying for the whole thing. Maybe we're not right for each other. But respectfully, I'm gonna just drop you off at home.
Oh, no, he didn't.
You're asking her on a date, so you take her where you want to go at. If that's your favorite restaurant, Cheesecake Factory. But for a woman to tell you and not be thankful, nah, I gotta get you up out of here.
She said she would die. Okay. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Jamarco. I don't know if let's see. Let me pull this up real quickly if I can see any of these that look good. Maybe the one right above that. Maybe the one right above that would be a good option. Let's see. Unless you have one that you want to look at. So what I want to do, guys, is I want to watch a couple of these, and then I want to hear people's feedback on that. Andy said first red flag. Now, Andy, hold on. Red flag for who though? Red flag for the lady, or red flag on the part of the dude? Like who's demonstrating red flags here? That's what I want to know. Wait. What did Ashley say? Hold on.
Oh, sorry, Jamarco. I'll stop.
You need to own that outfit, even if you're going to AutoZone.
AutoZone would be crazy. That would be a wild first date.
That would be a crazy first date. Okay. I don't know what Jamarco's doing. Jamarco, are you gonna go and re-record the video, bro? Or are you just gonna what was going on? Just click the link, Pumpkin.
Yo, I think that video is fake anyway. That first one.
Yeah, it kind of felt fake, to be honest. I'm gonna throw it out
Nope.
there too. It was a little weird. It felt acted. I'm gonna throw it out there. I also felt like that was a little fake.
I also think that couple, and don't get me canceled for this, but that couple would have been a wild vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know.
It would have been kind of crazy.
That couple
they seem more like friends.
Appropriate vibe here. Let's hold on. Go ahead. Let's play this one. Let's see.
Starbucks. And you want appreciative of going to Starbucks.
What am I supposed to get, a cake pop?
We're supposed to sit down, get a coffee, and talk.
Who gets coffee at 6 p.m.? Who gets coffee at 6 p.m.?
Then get a decaf, get a tea, get something else. Like you need like the first date is always supposed to be just casual, right? Just fill each other out.
Yeah, casual drinks. I'm pretty sure that means a restaurant with a meal in front of me, getting to know each other better, and what we're here
to get fed for free.
Fed for free? I could get any date I want. I could get a date right now and have him pay for my food.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why you think that's so hard. Like, look at me. Like
I could have picked up anybody off the street and paid for their meal. That's what.
Okay, but they wouldn't look like this. They wouldn't look like this. So.
Okay, no, first of all, you're not even as thick as in the pictures that you posted on your Instagram. Like,
and you're not as cute. Yeah. And you're not as cute. Okay. And you clearly don't have as much money as you said you did, because here we are at Starbucks.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm sorry, we pulled up at Starbucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's more like it.
I'll take you back home. I'm gonna take you back home where you get yourself some cup noodles.
You want to take me home?
Yeah, I'll take you home.
I look like this in your car right now, and you want to take me home? You sure about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you can get any other date, right? Just like you said, you can get any dude to come and pay for your meal and take you out and wine dining, right? You can get that at any time, right?
So now we're not going on the date because you don't want to pay more than Starbucks.
Oh, it's not bad. Money's no option.
So if money's no option, then why aren't we going on the date? Like an actual date?
Because one, you're trying to put me on blast. Like, you got your phone out filming this interaction right now.
Okay, because I thought I was getting pranked at this point.
Okay.
Like, it feels like it's not real because I've never had a grown man take me to Starbucks for a date. What is this, high school?
You never had a grown man in general because,
you
you acting really unappreciative. Like, you expect me to take you to some 5-star restaurant right out the gate. You know what? I'm going to do you one better. I'm not even going to take you home.
No, what?
Any dude can come and get you and take you out, right? Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and make sure that's the case.
Just drop you off on the side of the road.
Yep,
You're not serious. Are you?
Go and get out.
You know what?
Yep.
Whatever.
Go back on your profile. Ask one of them dudes to pick you up, take you out.
Ladies, this man right here is broke. He's broke. Look at him. Look at him.
Yep.
Broke. He won't spend no money on you.
All right. There's the sauce.
What the heck?
I have a hot take. I have a hot take on this. Are you ready? I'm going to agree with the girl a little bit. I think it is kind of weird to take a girl.
Me. Apparently,
apparently when it comments as both of us, I think it is kind of weird to take someone for coffee at 6 p.m. I'm going to throw it out there. That is kind of weird. I don't know. Like, I'm going to throw it out there. That's a weird timing of that. I don't think coffee's a bad first date, but why wouldn't you do that in the morning? You know?
Okay.
So
you think she's in the right is what I'm hearing in this situation. You think you give her the W in this transaction? I
wouldn't give her a W. I give it like a tie. You know, like the guy that's a weird place to take the guy or the girl, the guy to take the girl, but also she was being incredibly ungrateful too. I mean, you're getting like even a free decaf, right? Whatever. It's just a little weird. Like if I was the girl, I would have been like, all right, I guess we're doing this, and then gotten like some croissant or gotten a decaf and been like, okay, that was weird though. Like, I don't know why the hell. Like, we're going to Starbucks at 6 p.m.
The CEO nailed it, bro. The issue wasn't the coffee. It was that she wanted Dunkin', and he took her out.
Holy shit.
Plot twist.
She
It was
wanted donkey.
Oh my God, Pace Morby,
Look who's in
ladies
the
and gentlemen.
chat, dude.
Let's go.
Crazy.
Oh, Pace.
I wonder what his opinion on this situation, what an acceptable first date is. Because I
Pace
feel
can
like
come up.
Pace is
Everyone
gonna
can come up.
have Pace is gonna have a different opinion on what a good first date is, right? I feel like Pace is in the category of people who, if you go on a first date with Pace Morby, I would go on a date with Pace Morby, right? I mean, as like even as a manly dude, I think it would just be a good experience. Matter of fact, people go on first dates. So, no, it's not. No, it wasn't. There's no scenario. No way.
He was married.
No way.
This guy was trying to make babies since he was 1 year
no
old.
Shot.
So
Zero
where was Pace in the dating screen, y'all?
Oh
like,
my
was
God.
Pace?
Unfortunately, we're not actually right next to each other, Pace. Unfortunately.
The problem
Next
is,
episode.
I feel like
Next
Jonah's the
episode.
type that's gonna give tongue too fast, right? And it's just gonna get awkward.
This guy, dude.
And so
This guy. So
that's-
many assumptions made, bro.
it just I feel like you're going in too aggressive, and I'm not gonna be sure how to handle the situation.
You're the one
right?
who likes too much tongue too fast, dude. You're like the type of guy to be into it, though.
Here's the thing: go big or go home is all I'm saying. Right? That's all I'm saying. Look, I threw I don't know if this this works. I threw the link in the chat for anybody who wants to come in the
True.
Wait, whose mom? Was it Eddie's mom?
Whose mom? That's the real question.
It was definitely Eddie's mom. How do you share the screen link? I want to invite people. Hold on, I'm doing the link. Copy. And what is happening here?
I don't know.
I think Pace is sitting on his phone. I want to hear comments on this topic.
People have been commenting, dude. Here, let's bring up some of these.
No, I sent the StreamYard link out there for people who actually want to jump in and actually be a part of this conversation. Here's my question, right? So Jonah thinks she's right. Kind of. Tyler, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, Starbucks is a little weird for like a first date kind of spot, but to me, it's not about where you go. It's about the time that you spend with the girl. And so just seeing her reaction and seeing how ungrateful she's going to be over the course of a long period of time, I feel like that's just a huge red flag to me. And I do the same thing. Even if we were going to somewhere nice and she just was ungrateful, like whatever, the attitude was not there. And so immediately I'd be like, nah, I do exactly what he did. Just drop her off. But I will say Starbucks is not the most ideal first spot to take a girl. So I'm kind of like 50-50 with Jonah, I'd say.
50-50. All right, Mike G, what do you got, bro?
Man, you know what happens when you assume, bro?
Okay.
Out of you and me.
Yeah, man. She jumped to conclusion too quick. What happens if he was getting ready for the whole night? You don't know. Like what happens if they needed some caffeine to get this thing started? You know what I'm saying?
But when you say this thing, what thing are you referring to?
Duncan.
Duncan. Referring to Duncan.
Yo, so like she didn't even give homeboy a shot. That would be, you know what that's the equivalent to? That is the equivalent to telling a seller, oh, we're not a good fit in the first minute of a call. That makes sense? You just simply assume. And I think people try pulling away too quick or assume things too quick, and then you don't know what the heck is going to happen. So what could have been happening is he's trying to pregame a little bit get some caffeine. If she did some digging, she would have found out whether or not that was the truth. But what I think happened is he got offended. He's like, wait, what happens if this happened? He got offended and he's like, wait, hold on. You think that I would bring you to just Starbucks for the first date? Is that what you think of me already?
Interesting.
So he gets mad and he's like, I don't even want to be on a date with you no more. And maybe she just screwed the whole thing up.
This is a very well thought out plot, Mike. Very well thought out. Okay. I want a lady's perspective on these topics. Also, Ashley, if you're still here listening to this, you definitely need to click the button and get your butt up here because I know you got stories. We're going to be getting to stories here shortly. Jess, what are your thoughts? Are these two ladies? We got two ladies in question. We got the Starbucks lady, and then we also have the Cheesecake Factory lady. What are your thoughts, Jess?
First off, what girl is getting into a car without knowing where they're going? Was my first thought. They don't know where they're going on this date. It could have been the woods.
That's a wild vibe. That is a wild vibe.
Now that's a terrible first date.
Wow.
This could have went way worse. But yeah, she was super rude. She handled it poorly, but that was my first thought. I'm like, how does she get in this person's car without knowing where they're going on this date?
Okay, but by that logic, who cares if you know? You don't know this person. So even if he told you we're going to Del Frisco's or pick your really nice steakhouse, are you just not getting into cars for first dates?
No.
All right. I got an idea of what it could have been. It could have been kind of like maybe they knew each other a little bit. Maybe it's a first date, but maybe they actually met each other in person. He's like, hey, I've got somewhere incredibly special to take you. It's going to be a surprise. Right, which would be really funny if it was like going to be a super special surprise. Then you show up at Starbucks, but that's a possibility. I'm going to throw it out there and give it. Maybe there was just something before that we didn't know about. I don't know.
Okay, so now we're going into a lot of branches. I want to get to the safety thing here in a second because that's actually a factor. There was that whole thing that went on about ladies if they wanted to go to the woods with the bear or with the dude.
We'll do that. That should be another episode, by the way. That should definitely be another episode.
So, okay. Let me ask you this. So, Ashley, your opinion. Was she right? Was she wrong? Was she entitled? What's the situation?
I think she was very much entitled, but I do think there are branches. If it was somebody that I already knew, that I already had a relationship with in some way or another, but it was a first date, I'd probably expect a little more. I'm sure we've already had coffee or had in-depth conversation. I feel like a drink or coffee is great for a first date if you're meeting somebody for the first time, because then you have a way to get out. Like, okay, thanks, had a good time. I don't want to sit here any longer. We're not vibing. I'm leaving.
Okay.
But
okay, so I'm trying to gather a thing here. So Jess, she was entitled. She was nasty. Apart from not getting in the car, if you're on a first date and you happen to be doing this, how are you feeling about a Starbucks location, right? Maybe he just tells you to meet there. It's 6:00. I get the evening time thing. There's a conversation about that. But okay, what are your thoughts? Are you feeling a certain kind of way, or are you rolling with it?
I would have just rolled with it. I'm too easygoing for that. But I would have, I don't know. I'm definitely not drinking coffee at 6 p.m. at night. I would be up all night.
That's the point that Mike was trying to do.
That was the Dunkin'.
Okay.
That one.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You start with Starbucks and you end with Dunkin'. I mean, it's a home run of the night.
Okay. Ashley, so you're rolling with it. You actually aren't against the idea necessarily because it gives you an easy out. Is that kind of your perspective on it?
yeah. And I don't drink coffee, so maybe I have a different perspective for that reason. I would have had a Starbucks refresher.
Okay. So let's talk about this because I think this is an important aspect with it, right? This is another thing you don't really think about. How much do you have to know the person until you are comfortable sitting in their car and riding with them? Are you riding by yourself? Like, what's that situation look like?
I don't know. It would depend on the person. It would depend on the person. Definitely not first date. If it's first time I've met you, definitely not getting in your car with you.
Okay.
If we're going somewhere from Starbucks, I'm not driving with you. Too many horror stories.
Wait, too many horror stories, like personal horror stories?
Like we watch a lot of movies, horror stories.
No, I mean, I've had some personal experiences.
Oh my gosh.
As well. Yeah.
So tell us how your trip to Chuck E. Cheese ended up.
Jesus. Okay, so let me ask you this. If you're going in a situation like that, well, Okay. If you're going on a first date, your opinion, what's kind of like a best case scenario? Like, what is a date that you're like, you know what? This guy's going out of his way. I want to hear both perspectives. Right? I want to hear Ashley's and Jess's perspective. Like, what's like, you know what? No, this is horrible. What's okay? This is an acceptable first date.
Yeah, you can go first.
You can go ahead.
What I want to know, who do you guys think this is? He's been Laura, he's been Pace, he's been a yoga person up to this point.
Some random person.
I just want to know who this is.
You have such ADHD. Let them answer the question.
Yeah,
Sorry.
seriously.
I
have some feel free. You want some or what?
Yes, Ashley, feel free to answer the question.
Ashley, go ahead. Sorry.
What was the question? No. I was going to say, I think it was Tyler that said it's not really necessarily about what you're doing, but who you're doing it with. I think somebody could pull out all the stops, go to a great restaurant. It's not going to change the fact that if it's the wrong personality, if it's not the right connection, that it's not going to change. Doesn't matter where you go. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a bad person for this.
No, it's not being bad at all, actually.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. Jess, what about you?
I feel like it's along the lines of Jonas said. I want to know like where you're going, like what food you actually like. Go take me to your favorite restaurant. I don't care if it's a hole in the wall, but like I'm also super into like good food and being like kind of a foodie. So that's where I'd ideally like to go.
I'm gonna throw this out there also. Pro tip: if you go to a hole in the wall where people know you, where they're like you're like a regular, you look kind of sick.
Yeah.
Gonna throw it out there. Like if you go bring a girl there and like the waiter's dapping you up and you're like the man, the girl's gonna be like, wow, this guy actually has social skills and can get people to like him.
That's a good or a bad thing?
So it's a good thing. Good thing.
Pro tip, I actually disagree with you.
Oh,
so if you're taking me somewhere where everybody knows you, it just shows that you're trying to maybe show off. Or B, that you need to be surrounded by people you're comfortable talking to, so you don't have to talk to them.
Gosh. Or who else have you taken there?
Interesting.
That too. How many girls have been here?
You know what's funny? Guys, this is why. Let's go back to the first thing I said. When you walk into a bar, or you walk into a restaurant, you walk into anywhere, just go there for you, because you're gonna end up with someone that Ashley doesn't want that because the way she perceives the situation. Then you have Jess is like, I love good food, hole in the wall. Like, this will be fun. Let's check it out, right? Two different personalities. Who are you going to mix with? Well, guess what? If you just have people lined up for you, you can choose. It is what it is.
Yeah, but then here's the thing, right? At what point does this become... So let's really get into this, right? Because at what point is this, let's play devil's advocate, unfair for dudes, right? Now, I'm going to take the dude side for a second here, right? A lot of guys are extremely nervous. Listen to Eddie's story earlier on, right? There was a season in his life where he wasn't going up. He wasn't talking to ladies. He wasn't doing anything. And it's funny because when you hear these like Tinder or like social media app conversations, there's just a lot of pressure put on. And for this, I'm sure this goes both ways, right? But for the sake of speaking for the fellas for a minute, on guys where it's just like, oh, say something creative. And then you go and you try to get creative. Oh, that was corny. And it's just like, at what point are dudes put into this unrealistic scenario where they're in a lose-lose situation where it's just like, okay, cool. Yeah, you want to be creative, but then you're called corny. If you're not creative, you're called basic. You're not trying hard enough. You want to take somebody out to a nice place. You're trying too hard. You don't want to take them somewhere nice. Well, now you're not trying enough. And do you see what I look like? Now, I don't think anybody here sounds like that or is that kind of personality. But is it understandable that if this is all on the dudes, which I think that there is a lot of society who feel like it's all on the dudes to make this magical experience. You got to be Disneyland for one night. Everything's got to be magical. But there is no clear standard set as to what is and is not acceptable, especially since that's very subjective. So how does a dude win?
Well, if you get here, can I speak for a split second? Like split second. Like,
You're gonna answer and tell us how dudes win?
well, no. Well, no.
Okay.
I just want to add to that so that the girls can answer.
Okay.
Okay. Can we agree that when you go to a restaurant or a bar, right? What's the first thing? Like I hang out with a lot of girls. I grew up with girls, right? And so when you go into a restaurant, you talk about fairness. I'm like actually, you know what? No, because I'm gonna bleed into my opinion about this. Let's hear Let's hear Ashley talk about this real quick, because it's gonna bleed into like what my opinion is.
Yeah, let's hear the ladies.
Yeah.
Ashley, you first.
Yeah.
Or no, Jess, you were ready to go. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, can you repeat the question? I feel like I lost it in the.
Yeah. So the question is there potential that the standard for fellas is a little bit unfair sometimes in the dating world, because they got to get it perfect, but everybody got a different opinion of what that is. And so it's really easy to put men on blast. Whereas if you take either one of these clips and it was a reversed situation and the dude was putting the lady on blast, we'd be having a completely different conversation. So interested in hearing thoughts on that.
I definitely agree. I feel like it's a tough situation, but at the same time, there's other girls out there who don't have such high expectations. You know what I mean? Like you can just find those people that you just vibe with better, that get it.
I like it. Okay. Ashley, what do you think?
I agree. It is one of those double standards that does not work in your favor. There are a lot of double standards that work in our favor. Try to milk those as much as possible. But I will say either one of those women, that's probably just a key underlying element of their personality. You're not going to get that from Jess. You're not going to get that from me. I don't care where you take either one of us. And I am actually also a foodie. I will spend 4 or 5 hours just researching restaurants. I have a list. I want to know who the chef is. I want to know like where they got their training. I want to know what all the reviews say. Like I'm very much a foodie as well. But if somebody takes me to the Cheesecake Factory because they know it's going to have something in theory that I like because they have 10,000 things on their menu, I'm going to say, okay, next time I pick the restaurant. Gotta give them a chance.
So you're giving them grace. You're going out there. It doesn't really matter. First of all, I haven't been to Cheesecake Factory in forever. I'm in fairness, I'm not really a big fan of chain restaurants just because of the quality of the food. Usually this guy won't leave me alone. But I mean, I feel like if you're going to take somebody out of the restaurants that exist, Cheesecake Factory is not at the bottom. I think it's like upper middle class. If you're classing restaurants, like it's up there, right?
If you're gonna go like commercial
3 Series
chain,
BMW.
If you're gonna go commercial chain, it's like in the middle.
It's up there. I feel like it's the
a Dominic's is a high-end commercial chain. I'd still would rather, something local with a good chef. Research sushi where they fly in their fish every day.
What about like a food truck?
Yeah.
Look at Jess.
Yeah, I mean,
let's go to.
So,
yeah.
Question. Well, first and foremost, okay, this is actually like I love this because you have two completely different what I like and what I don't like. Like Jess just said food truck, and then Ashley was like, yeah, I mean that you can tell that's not the first choice, right? So, Ashley, Jess, real quick, I'm not trying to hijack this real quick because this is a conversation that always has with us men. Okay, where do you prefer, like right now, like, because Jess, I can tell I like the experience with the person, not where you take me, right?
Yeah.
Ashley, almost feeling like you like to show that I'm value, so create something of value for me, put me in somewhere that's of value, right? Yes.
Well, let's ask that as a question. I would love to hear, like Ashley and Jess, both of you guys. I would love to hear, like, what is your dream? That's not here. That's definitely.
All right, that's me.
Okay, that's Ashley. What are y'all's a dream ideal first date? What's the ideal first date for y'all? And if Ashley's dealing with dog issues, Jess, you can go first.
I haven't put a ton of thought into that. Dream first date.
Think about the actual best first dates you've been on. That might be a good way to.
That could be a good one.
Actual ones that I think of actual ones that have happened.
Not a whole lot of those.
Me neither.
I mean, I feel like all my first dates, except for my most recent one, has all been just like some random restaurant or bar. You just kind of meet up at like a local place.
Okay. Now, is it just like you guys met online? You guys are actually going out here and doing this, or was it just kind of like a friends connected and you guys all happened to be hanging out? So it wasn't really an official first date because you guys were all just hanging out anyways. Or did they like invite you to this endeavor?
Both. I would say both. I want to tell the story of my most recent one, the person I'm still with right now, but it's going to derail it because it's opposite of the answer I gave earlier with the whole safety.
It's okay. Keanu is constantly derailing the podcast. Go for it. Like, honestly, just keep going with it.
Just change the name to Derail.
Yeah, Derail Keanu.
So my current boyfriend, we met on like Bumble, and we were supposed to go to a restaurant or something, and I don't know, that ended up not working out. So I just invited him over my house, and random stranger. It was all alone at my house. And to this day, he just makes fun of me. He's like, I could have killed you. But
I lean on Ashley on this one because this I already read Ashley's brain here right now.
Yeah.
What made you
we
feel
just went over not getting in his car, but by telling him
I knew it was coming.
Wait, so what made you feel comfortable enough to do that though? Like, I'm curious.
I don't know.
How old were you?
I don't know. It was like 5 years ago.
Trust.
25.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. Yeah.
No, it makes sense. I feel like, yeah. I mean, I won't interrupt.
No, you're good. I have no idea why I thought that was safe. I did not even consider it, honestly.
Would you do it again if you restarted?
No, I've listened to so many like murder podcasts since then.
Yo, where are y'all listening to these murder podcasts?
Oh my gosh, they're addicting.
Nothing about that sounds intriguing to me. Why do I want to hear about someone's gruesome and untimely death as a source of enjoyment? Okay, so Ashley, what about you? Because Jess completely contradicted herself, so we don't even know what to believe at this point. What's your situation here?
Well, I go back to it's not about what you're doing, but who you're doing it with. For me, the ideal first date has to do with the conversation and the energy and I don't know, being open and transparent, but also like not overselling yourself. I don't know. It's all about the person. It has nothing to do with what you actually do. I've gone on first dates where we just went and took the dogs and met up with our dogs and walked around the park. That was a pretty good first date. He didn't spend any money on me. I didn't spend any money on me or him. Like, there was no dollars spent. It was just going for a walk with dogs. Yeah, but he was a social media influencer and I couldn't do that.
Dang, a social media influencer just walked a dog with you? What the heck?
Yeah.
But what is it?
It was a good idea.
Starbucks, obviously.
Believe in yourself. You've been up here for a minute, man. We haven't heard from you. I don't even know your name. It would be nice if we knew your name.
My name. Let me know if my mic's all right. It's the first time using this one.
We can hear you.
My name's Robert.
Robert, let's go. Give it up for Robert, people.
Yeah, I'm often. Thank you. I'm about the dating. I haven't done it for a while, but last time I was in the city, I was happy to be there, Toronto, Canada, that is. So I was just walking with purpose, and I was walking fast, and I know I was walking confidently. So when that girl slipped in behind me, when I went up from the subway level to the street outside, I turned around and she's like right on my ass, pardon my language, but she's right there. So I held the door for her and she said, thank you, with the look of lust in her eyes. And I said, it's my pleasure. And then I walked away faster because that's the way you have to do it. You have to know I'm not playing her game.
With the look of lust in her eyes. God damn, I
With
love
a
that.
look of lust in her. This is a page turner.
Yeah. What kind of 50 Shades of Grey is this turning into?
I mean, it's not. I'm not saying the feeling wasn't mutual. She was cute, but
but you had to do
girls.
the takeaway. I like it. I respect it. So you didn't just fall for it. You play hard to get.
Yeah, I play impossible to get.
This guy's a freaking closer, bro.
Impossible to get. Ladies, does that work for everybody? Like, do you need a guy who's gonna play it a little cool, a little chill, or do you like a guy who tells you about all of his feelings and expresses to you how he feels about you within the first couple of days? Look at Ashley's face.
It just depends. I mean, I had to, where I used to work, from 1990 to 2017 when I retired, I was public transit Toronto. So I was operating in the subway for most of the time. So in between stations, a girl gets on, sits near you. You've got 1 minute to chat her up if you find her attractive, see if there's something there. Just 1 minute. So you have to be fast. And I got pretty fast. I was fast enough to earn a bad reputation with my brother's neighbors after I got divorced the first time. I lived with him for a year because I had 4 hours on, 4 hours off. So in between, I'd bring a girl home at lunch and then I'd bring a girl home for dinner, and they weren't the same girls. And I earned a bad reputation, but I played safe.
Wait, okay. So I need what does
both subway girls?
What
Were they
does
both
bringing
subway
a girl
girls?
home mean?
Oh, what's a what?
Do you have some
Is it
sort of
Dunkin'
like
Donuts or what are we talking about?
meetings?
Oh,
you
no.
mean?
Like Jess Mayo bringing the guy
No.
home, or like
Yeah, like
No, there would be a lot of talking, but the meetup going home was for one purpose, to get busy.
Dude's a dog.
he went to Dunkin'. He didn't go to Starbucks.
The first
He
year
went
is what-
straight to Dunkin'. He skipped Starbucks.
well, I used to do that, but when I first started dating, I would go to a club, check it out.
Did you stop yet?
Did I stop what?
Are you still?
I stopped.
Are you still?
Okay, my time engaging in the candy store of life without restraint was from 31 to 38.
Ooh.
Because after a while, it just feels like work. You realize I could be out jogging instead of doing this.
Yeah.
The same. I used to work. I lifted weights for 27 years, and the girls weren't changing. And you're kissing a girl, you drop her off, you're making out, and then she stops. And I say, "What? Oh, my boyfriend just walked by." I was like, "Your boyfriend just walked?"
What?
Okay, no, bye.
What happens in Toronto? What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Damn, Robert.
Freaking Drake,
Holy
yo.
Jesus.
It's Drake. It's the spirit of Drake going around.
I have so many questions. Robert. So question number one, give us an idea. What is a good, what is it, Toronto? How do you say this? What is a good Canadian pickup line in the 60 seconds you have on the train, right? Because that's a lot to accomplish. Because think about what we're discussing here, folks.
Mm-hmm.
In a matter of 60 seconds, he took a stranger and converted them to an at-home companion. That's a very poignant skill set. So I need to understand what's going on in this language, right? There is.
I think he meant speed dating.
That 1 minute would be to get the number.
What's your
even
elevator
back in,
pitch?
how are you?
That's it.
Wow.
That's your line.
And I would.
Damn.
No, that's I don't have a line. I just go by how I feel, how they feel.
Okay.
If I can get a read off them, and I'm very good with
cool.
getting reads off people.
Yep.
If I can, the elevation of the vibration is what matters. If they're close to my level, they're going to interact. If they're not interested, they say no. And I'm grateful for each and every no, because I got thousands of no's. Trust me. Because every no I knew was going to get me to a yes. And I had a strict criteria when dating. if I asked a girl to date out on a date and she said yes, I dated her.
Interesting.
That was it.
So you guys thought this was just a dating podcast, but you guys just got a sales nugget right there.
My man's giving you KPIs, bro.
Right? KPIs. It's do not get discouraged by the no's. Keep pushing until you get the yes. Not every no gets you closer to the yes. All right. Then I have two very important questions. Question number one: were there any no's that you still think about? Like, man, I wish I would have been able to convert that to a yes.
There was one regret when I think I was 15, and we were at Tampa, Florida, spring break. My friend goes, "That girl's looking at you." And I look at her. She was like, "Oh, wow." I had no confidence, no self-confidence at all, very shy. But she was 18 from Montreal, and she was like dark hair, olive skin. I was like, oh. That was regret because I talked to her a bit, but I didn't give her my number. That was regret for years. That's how I learned about regret, the pain of regret.
What, olive skin? She was black?
No, she was, I think she was Middle Eastern. I'm just not sure exactly where. Maybe Persian.
Okay, so you left Canada, you went to Tampa, found a Canadian, and then fumbled the bag at the finish line. And then that created the monster
painful regret that lasted
on the
for years.
Train.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, painful, like knife in your stomach, painful. No, I got over it. The first wife helped me with that. Loneliness used to be the same thing. Used to be like an ice cold blade in your spine on a Friday night. She took that away. I don't know how, but it never bothered me again.
You know, it's funny, right? Because as we're sitting there, we're talking about different stories. But if we're all honest, a lot of the decisions that we make and the opinions that we have on dating do come from stuff like what Robert was just saying, right? That situation when you were 15 years old about that one that got away or the one that said something hurtful. And then next thing you know, you go on this period of years of how you filter dates and relationship interactions because of one thing. This is actually a really real situation. Like, I think this is a realer thing than people give credit.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said
with that.
So much knowledge has been forgotten. Let's put it that way.
I agree with that. I feel like there's just certain moments in high school when I was just like, you think of like just like the most cringe things you ever did. I will never forget. Be crazy if she was watching this. Lauren Jacobs, junior year of high school. Just I remember like basically this one isn't like the crazy story, but like I just remember it being very cringe. Just super crush on her, super awkward in high school. But then she was like a singer. And I thought it would just be a good idea to just be like, yeah, like, why don't you sing me a song? Like, that'd be awesome. And she was like, absolutely not. I'm like, oh, why? That's like how I approached her. Like, aren't you a singer? And she's like, yeah, but I'm not going to sing a song randomly. And I don't know. They're just like random moments like that definitely like I just remember like, all right, don't ask them to sing a song. That's not usually a good opening line. But yeah, no, I agree with you, Piano. There are random things like that in my memory, I feel like.
Interesting. So, Robert, final question, man.
Yeah.
Do you think that you like today? I don't know if are you married now currently? Are you single?
No.
What's your
relationship status? I'm single. I know there'll be a third wife, but not quite yet.
Are you taking applications for the third wife?
I'm sort of considering being open. I don't know that will happen around here, but it could. I am going to Japan probably around October, November. There's a lot of friends I've made there. Well, I used to stream on an old show, and they still stream, and I keep in touch with them. So I'm going to meet them all in person for the first time, and I'm looking forward to that.
Are you still in Toronto, bro?
I'm in Napanee now. So that happened
Canada?
last September. Yeah, Canada still. In between Toronto and Montreal.
Canada, bro. I think Canada's the problem.
Well, it is what it is. My mother's from Nashville, so I'm secretly, unofficially half American. She just got
Why
married
do you
off
want
when
to
she was
keep that a
16.
secret? Is that something you just don't
Well,
want people to know?
Actually, I use it all the time. I say that Canada is the toupee of America. We have all the trees.
I love that. Okay, so for wife number 3, do you care if it's an American or Canadian or the Persian, or what are your options? What are you looking for?
Well,
or does it matter?
when I did date, because of where I worked and where I would eat lunch, I dated around the world. And but I want someone I can build an empire with. So being able to, have each other's back, lift each other up, encourage her. There was one time a few years ago, I was speaking to a financial person, and it turned out she was a closet motivational speaker. She's Turkish, so her family didn't want her to do that, but she loved it. And I love doing that because I love just being up there, pumped up. I proposed 3 times on the first call, but she had a boyfriend.
You did what?
I proposed to her 3 times
you
during the first call.
proposed marriage?
Yes, I proposed marriage because her energy was what I was looking for. And it really wouldn't have mattered what she looked like. Just saying. Beauty, external beauty is very subjective. And if the energy doesn't match what you're attracted to on the surface, that beauty will no longer impact you in any way. And that's happened to me. There was a girl at work. I would stare from a distance with my jaw dropped open at her beauty until we started working together. And then when she started talking, I realized she's just not my kind of person. You're really nice. We were friends, but that lust factor, that attraction factor was gone in the blink of an eye.
Something like that, or sometimes they just drop it.
Okay.
So that's why, yeah.
So you're open, you're looking, you're about to start taking applications. Do you think you could still have a chance to reach out to the closet motivational speaker? Is this still on the table?
I'm still in touch with that company. She was planning on getting married. I can just ask.
Not an option.
I can ask. No.
I mean, maybe
That's
don't
okay.
ask if she's in the process of getting married. Maybe
no,
not.
I will ask. I'll ask it. If I want to know something, I'm going to ask it.
You don't care about the current relationship she's in?
Oh no, I mean, I would ask in a very, very respectful way. Like I have one of the first books my grandfather gave me was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And that was at 13.
Great book.
And I've read that book more times than I can count. I love making friends. I love people. And I love interacting with people in such a way so they feel a little bit better about themselves because we interacted. And I'll do that all day.
Robert, thank you so much for jumping in here, man.
Hey, thank you for making it possible.
Hearing your perspective. No, 100%, man. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff like this. I really, really appreciate you hopping in. Hope you hop into the next one.
I'll have to put in my calendar so I remember. Because I'm getting older, right?
Do it. Look forward to it. You got some good stories.
Okay,
Appreciate it, man.
I'm popping out. The dating podcast is on now, but I'll still be engaging.
Alrighty, man.
Robert, gosh.
Wisdom.
Okay. Wisdom and experience.
That's right.
That train story is crazy. It makes me realize that I'm just not doing my job properly.
That's a wild boy right there, man.
Definitely is. All right, you guys want to get first date stories, Keanu?
I need first date stories. I need first date stories. I want really bad first date stories.
I'm trying to think of I can try to think of a few. I had a few in my head. They're not that funny. They just were kind of bad is the issue. It just wasn't very interesting bad, or the ones that I've had.
Okay,
that's the thing.
I want to hear fellas, what are some of your worst first date stories where you feel like you messed up? Even if it's not that bad, where did you fumble the most on your first date? This is a good sign. If you don't immediately have one at the ready, that's
Actually,
probably...
you know what, Tyler? Do you think the first date with you and Kaylin, the first day/date, that wasn't really a date, but was a date, but really wasn't because now you're kind of engaged now? I think that's somewhat of a first date, if you ask me.
Well, she had a boyfriend at the time, so I
Well,
wouldn't consider that as a first date.
yeah, we were still in college. We had a bunch of tests.
Yeah. There was none of that going on. We were all looking at our own papers. I mean, I guess you could call it a friendly hangout. So Kaylin and I, she is from Chicago, and I was working at Outback. One day I see this girl walk by that I've never seen before. She's working at Outback, and I'm like, oh my gosh, who is that? Oh, that's a new girl. Didn't have time to go talk to her. At the end of the night, I'm rolling silverware, and she comes up, and I see her, and she has this really cool watch on, like Michael Kors watch. I'm like, oh, that's a really cool watch. Where'd you get it? And she says, oh, my boyfriend got it for me. And I'm like, oh, cool. That was the end of the conversation. And over the next, I'd say, week or so.
Now you guys are engaged.
Yeah, basically.
It took a lot.
There you go. And that's the story. And bada bing, bada boom.
There's a big journey here, and it's good.
So, so over the next week or two, we just started talking a little bit. And one day, right before she's about to leave, she's like, hey, I have an extra credit class that I'm able to go see this volleyball game for, but I don't want to go alone. Do you want to go with me? I was like, sure. So she asked me for my number. I give it to her. We go to this volleyball game. I take another friend. I don't think that's the story you're talking about, though. Are you talking about the bridge story? Okay, so
that volleyball game was not fun. That's
yeah. So 2 weeks later, I say we've hung out now at this point. I say, and like I said, she has a boyfriend at the time, but I'm a very I know this. Although, would I be okay with it if it happened to me right now? Probably not. But her boyfriend was out of the city or out of state, and she was always one of those girls that was way better friends with guys than girls. So I said, hey, Kaylin, do you want to go to your first ASU party? And she's like, oh, yeah, that'd be amazing. She's never been to a party. She's in college. Like, why not? She just moved down here. So I go pick her up. And mind you, I'm driving my amazing 1998 BMW M3 stick shift. I'm thinking I'm like hot shit, And so I go pick her up. We drive down to ASU. If you guys have been to Arizona, you know that there's a bridge that goes from one side of ASU or one side of like Scottsdale, basically, to the ASU side where we were going to go. And little did I realize that we had a ASU football game on. And at the time we were going down there, the game just ended. And so the bridge is, and I've never been to ASU like right after a game. So the bridge was like at a standstill. Like there was 100 cars on the bridge. No one's moving. And at this point, I'm like getting on the bridge and I'm like, oh shit. So we're stuck on the bridge for about 30, 35 minutes, just sitting there, not moving. And little did you know, like my car, it's so great. It's I planned this. It just starts overheating. And unfortunately, I see a cloud of smoke coming out of the front of the car. And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. My car's overheating. And she's like, here's what you got to do. You got to turn the heat up, blow all the air out, roll your windows down, and it will cool down everything. And I'm like, okay. So I do it. And that didn't help. Still overheating. And so I eventually turned my car off. And at this point, I'm sitting on the bridge with her sitting next to me, and we're just like, we're forced to just sit there and talk and have a conversation for the next hour while I wait. And so, like I said, it wasn't a date. She had a boyfriend, strictly platonic, but at the time, I guess you can call it kind of a date, because little did I know that we would be engaged like 7 years later. So
wait, hold on. So like, you guys are there. Did she leave the bridge, call her boyfriend, and like, hey, I just met this dude and we broke down on a bridge? You got no shot. Like, how did that transition take place?
No, it wasn't immediate. It was more like we actually get a police escort off the bridge. I say, hey, my car's overheating. Can you get me off this bridge? He's like, sure. I follow him. He's on a bike, literally follow him off the bridge. And then Eddie comes and picks us up. But to answer your question, no, it wasn't immediate. It was more, we just kept hanging out over time. And then one day, she says, hey, like, I'm not feeling all right. Something's happened between me and my boyfriend. I'm like, oh, really? What happened? And she said, well, I just found out he's doing drugs behind my back. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I just feel so bad for you.
Wait, what's going on in your head when she's saying all of this? Because I gotta know. Wait, how long had you been plotting in your head to hope that this didn't work out?
Okay, hold on, Tyler. Before this drug situation, this boyfriend, Kaylin was like, she was like our best, like she was our best friends, basically. She would hang out with us, but she would travel everywhere with us. Like, we went to Cali, spring break, Newport, Rocky Point,
her
Mexico.
boyfriend started doing drugs.
Yeah.
Right, that's it. Yo, it's Tyler's fault.
Yeah.
Tyler, you made this man do drugs, bro.
Yeah, and then we're on Newport Beach and we're walking, Tyler.
This is in Rocky Point.
Oh, this is Rocky Point. Okay, we're in Rocky Point. We're in a different country with this guy's girlfriend, by the way.
We're drinking. We're drinking, having a good time.
Where is this guy in the midst of all of this? There's only so many
That is
outings.
kind of weird.
There's only so many outings that I'm hearing my girlfriend go on before I'm popping up. Like, hey, guess what? I'm in town. What country are we going to?
Yeah, right?
Word.
So we're at this place called Shark Bite. And basically it's this cool little bar that, you go to, you just drink. They have this like toilet water tequila that they go around pouring in your mouth. It's the best thing ever.
It's blue antifreeze, by the way.
She takes a Snapchat and I'm in it. And like 10 minutes later, she gets a message with a screenshot, just like cropped me out, and says, I want to put his head on a stick. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's the kind of guy that we're dealing with here.
This is before Tyler and Kaylin were dating. I even had the slightest, like, Tyler was definitely on his Tinder ventures for sure.
Yo, Eddie, they were dating, bro.
No.
They were on a bridge together, looking down in the car. That's dating. like, hold on. Like, my girlfriend cannot be in just a car with just one dude just hanging out, broken down on the side of a bridge. Like, that ain't about to happen. Like,
did.
If she's in Arizona, who knows?
I need to do
his boyfriend MIA. I'm kind of confused. He was just MIA, like just not going to come over, hang out ever. Did he hang out with you guys ever, or did he just like?
Chicago. I don't. Honestly, I don't know. I mean,
did he ever exist? Can we confirm he existed?
I mean, I think he existed. He messaged back.
You're not sure. Could have been a long con.
I never met him.
Could have been the long con, dude. Maybe she wanted to see if you actually like her.
Maybe it was. Okay, I have questions. Jonah, I don't know if there's a way to put a poll out here. Question number 1.
I think there is.
Were Tyler and Kaylin dating, even though they weren't actually dating? I need to know. Yes or no? Were they technically dating, or were like what is this?
What
I don't
is
know.
what is considered dating? What do you mean by dating?
What
Nah, I
is
mean,
dating?
that's
We get
the-
into a philosophical conversation. What does that even mean?
You
So,
say
okay,
dating, I say hanging out.
Hang out,
Tyler,
vibing out,
Tyler,
dude.
I
Going
genuinely
to
want to
Dunkin'
know
Donuts, bro. What do you mean?
what was your intent?
we did go to Denny's, like me, Eddie, Kalen, Miguel, like
Denny's too.
we went to
Yo.
Denny's at like midnight, hung out, ate some food.
Denny's at
We were doing
midnight,
homework
bro.
then. No, we were doing a lot of work. We used to do a lot of homework at Denny's till like 3 a.m.
Yo, Eddie, stop helping your man's out, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, he's making him look. They were
What was the
definitely not
question?
dating. This guy was dating Tinder. That's who he was dating.
I was literally telling her about the girls that I was hanging out with at the time.
Okay, I could see
Duncan
that. I could
with-
see that. Okay, I can see that. So let's set the stage to give a little, because Tyler's a good dude, right? So they're all hanging out. They're all in the same friend circle. They're all hanging out together a lot. They're in college. Didn't go to college, but I would imagine what that's like. You guys are all doing the things. I get that. Tyler, if you feel comfortable sharing with the audience, bro, what were your intentions with the young lady? Right? Deep down inside, bro. Right? Was it like, I'm going to be respectful of the relationship?
To go to
but
Dunkin'
as soon as
Donuts,
this is
bro.
over-
What do you mean?
Yo, we
Right,
better be
right.
careful right now. We better be careful right now because the old boyfriend could be watching.
He might be watching. He might be
and
watching.
And at that point,
I
it
might have
be
invited
Tyler
him.
said on a stage.
You never know.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Don't skip traced him during
I
the
might have
story.
invited him just to start something, you know?
No, honestly, like if you were hanging out with us at the time, you would know like there was no intention. I was hanging out with other girls. It was strictly platonic. There was no. It was weird. It was like there was nothing between us specifically. Like we even went to. Here's another story. We went to a music festival in El Paso, and it was just me and her. I said, "Hey, I want to go see Marshmello. He's playing in El Paso." No one else wanted to go with me, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I love music festivals. Let's go." So we drive all the way out to El Paso. Same thing. She has a boyfriend. Actually got a hotel room, separate beds. But literally
Same hotel room. Yo,
Same-
Tyler. Yo, come on, bro. The same hotel room at a music festival. You know what it is too. You know what you were doing, bro. You know what you were
But
doing.
hey,
Hold on.
did I know what I was doing? Because I did bring another girl back.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking
to
about.
the
bro.
room?
You're smart.
Wait, no, hold on. You brought another girl to the same room that you
Wow.
guys were sharing together?
Insane.
Dude, I told you we had no
No,
physical.
I get that. I get that. But like, what was the reaction? She just covered her head? Like, was she like one of the
I
homies?
didn't hook up with the girl. The girl ended up being fucking crazy, and so she just.
Was she
was the drug
crazy
dealer.
because there was another girl already in your room?
What'd you say?
Was she crazy because there was another girl already in your room?
No, I'm talking about the girl that we brought was crazy.
Yeah, that's what she's asking.
She's asking you. It was that
no,
crazy.
no, this
It
girl.
may have been justified.
No, this was the girl that my stupidity went to, and we met her at the festival, and she was the one that was supplying everything, and so we ended up bringing her back.
Band-Aids, Neosporin.
Yeah,
Neosporin, yeah, that's exactly what it was.
needed, water,
Tylenol, Advil,
all of
Gotcha.
it.
Yo, here's my thing, bro.
liquid IV.
Here's I love you, Tyler. And I think maybe subconsciously you were doing this because you are a smart closer. Okay. You knew, hey, if I'm planting seeds and I'm telling her, hey, you know, I am talking to this other shorty right here. I'm even going to go to the furthest extent of bringing another shorty to the same hotel room. You know that feeds jealousy, just naturally in a female. They're gonna be jealous. There ain't no way a female's about to be in another bed right next to you, even if they have no intentions or anything with you. They're gonna be like, I'm sitting here alone in bed, like this is whack, and it's just create some jealousy. So like maybe, listen, bro, it all worked out in your favor at the end of the day. and you guys are now engaged, and you guys are gonna have a great marriage.
But
you're crazy, bro. You know what you're doing.
I want. Okay, so I mean, I'm gonna give Tyler the benefit. So there's a couple versions of the story. One's Mike's version, where Tyler knew what he was doing this whole entire time.
No. I got to be very clear because I'm not saying Tyler was being very intentional about he knew what he was doing, but subconsciously, that's what it led to.
One in the chat for yes, 2 in the chat for no. It was innocent. Did Tyler know what he was doing? What do the people say?
Is this way too much to have like this huge question? I was trying to figure out how to do a poll.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
A little aggressive.
Ashley may be right. I know Tyler. I know Tyler enough. I believe that Tyler's intentions were probably pure. I don't think Tyler's the type of dude to just be that dirty. But here's my question. This is going to be what wraps this up. At what point, because just for context, I knew Yvonne for 5-6 years before we ever started dating. Yvonne and I hung out like homies multiple times. And then all of a sudden one day it was like, what just happened? And it was legit like a one day what just happened type thing. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden there's an interest here that I think the LL Cool J, I don't remember at what point he came into the draft. I think it was right after. I was like, okay, wait, this may be something else. Let's do the LL Cool J. And that was a wrap. If you guys aren't sure what song I'm referring to, it's Hey Lover, LL Cool J, Boys to Men. I karaoke'd the LL Cool J part. I mean, there's a reason she's still here. Is all I'm saying. Right. So
roll that footage, Jamarco. You got that on the footage? We need to bring that up real quick.
He doesn't have it, and it would copyright infringement, so we couldn't do it anyways. Okay. But Yvonne, she's not denying it. All I'm saying is she's not denying it. Tyler, like, at what point in your head did it switch?
So you know, it's funny. There really was no intention, because if there was, I would have done something right after the breakup. And when her and her boyfriend broke up, we didn't connect, like physically connect like that, until probably a couple years later.
When you say physically, I'm just kidding.
Like no one knows.
So
biblically,
the intention was not there, but because we've hung out so much, and because we were really literally like best friends at the time, and it was to a point where, like, we went to this rocky point. We went back to Mexico when she was single. I went with Eddie and Miguel and a couple other people, and Eddie and Eddie had the top room somehow. I don't know. He always fucking lucks out with that. And then there was another room where Kaylin and I took it, and then the bottom was like the dungeon where all the other guys stayed. There was like 7 or 8 other guys, and they all stayed like in these prison cell type places. But so we stayed in the same room, and nothing happened until alcohol got involved. And if you've been to Rocky Point, you know that, well, if you go to Rocky Point with Eddie, you know that immediately when you get there, you start drinking. And so
I don't know who this Eddie guy is.
With Eddie, that's what happened.
What'd you say?
So Eddie, you immediately start drinking.
So one night we were drinking, and things happen when you get drunk. And so, one thing led to another, and I pulled a move, and it was that moment that was like, uh-oh, that was the, what just happened type moment. And then we realized, oh, wow, there is a connection here. Oh, wow, there could be something. No, not, I love how both of you say that at the same time.
That was. I didn't write that. I'm gonna go back.
No, not on the first date.
Okay.
So at that point, that Rocky Point trip was the point that kind of all those emotions were built up, even though there was none. But when we started drinking, at that point, everything got released.
Everything got
Literally
Wow.
and
What a way to end that.
and
And everything got released.
all right.
Wow.
So the rest was history. The one lingering question I still have: where the hell was this boyfriend this entire time? Where was this dude?
Let's bring him up
Like-
right now.
Yeah.
I have so many questions.
We have him
Wait,
in the
hold on.
back.
You guys all went to the same college?
Yeah, a little bit.
So, like, she was at the same college too?
Yeah.
Was the boyfriend at the same college?
No, he lived
No, in Chicago.
Oh,
He's in Chi-Town. Yeah.
I know he was sick.
Oh my gosh, that's why he started taking drugs. Literally.
Yeah,
Probably.
man.
Not why. He was doing them before. That's
Well, he
not
went back
why,
to him.
bro.
You owe that man's medical bills. Bro. You owe his rehab bills, bro.
Tyler's got to pay it forward just to make sure he doesn't do this again to anybody else.
Your next assignment fee goes to that.
Jonah, did you have any interesting date stories you wanted to share?
I remembered one. I got catfish once, and that went to my subconscious because I completely forgot about that. And I'm glad it came up right now on this podcast. That was like 3 years ago. So I'll tell this story because there's not much to it other than that I got catfish. Basically, you know, I play a little bit of the Bumble game, right? Like I do that. That's part of my game. So Bumble, match with this incredibly attractive Middle Eastern girl, my age. I'm like 24. She's 24 on there. And then I show up to the date and she's just like 50, right? She's just like way older. And I'm like, oh,
Wait, when was this?
Jessica?
How old were you?
I was like 26. I think.
Let's go.
This was not that long ago. This was only like 3 years ago. But I was just like, I was there. I was so stunned. Like I didn't know what to do. In my head, I'm like, is it rude to just leave? And I decided no. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go through and like keep hanging out just because I feel so awkward at this point to just be like, because it felt like super confrontational to be like, you are not the woman in these photos, or you are the woman in these photos 25 years ago, right? Like I kind of did it like very sly, where I was just like, so when did you take those photos? And she was not blatant about it. She was like, oh, like 20 years ago. And I'm like, what? Like just in my head, I'm just like,
wait, you asked that question?
Yeah, I did. And she answered 20 years ago. That was even crazier.
Jonah's sitting here looking at his phone like,
yeah, I'm like looking at the photos like, wait, how is this possible? And then I don't even remember. And she just kind of like, I was just like, all right, you know what? And this comes back to just do what you were going to do anyways, even if the girl sucks. We were getting ice cream. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get the ice cream. I was a gent. I paid for her ice cream too, just because I felt so weird about the whole situation. And we hung out. And she talked about her son who was my age. And I never saw her again after that. And that was the entire date. And I was like, wow, that was crazy.
No, wait, so I mean, was she still hot?
Bad in those photos? No, she was much more overweight, much older, like very not hot, very also 55 or something. Like very much like I was so stunned that I didn't just leave. I'm thinking back now, I should have just been like, I'm sorry, you are definitely not this woman, ma'am. Like I have nothing to say here. But I felt so awkward and so weird about the entire thing. I was like, you know what? I still kind of want ice cream anyways. Like, screw it. I guess I'll just talk to this other human being. And that was that. And I never saw her again.
We're not the same. When I was probably 20 years old, right? I was stationed in Virginia Beach. I had a Mustang GT convertible, right? I'm driving up the street with a friend of mine on the freeway, leaving the beach one night. We're out doing whatever you do on a weekend night. We pull up next to this other car with a lady who's driving a Mustang Roush, much faster car than the one I was driving, right? The lady in the passenger seat, probably the same age as your date, We start, hand signaling back and forth. She flashes us, right, from the passenger seat in the car. And then, of course, they immediately exit. Well, the responsible thing for me to do on my part is to also exit, right? To make sure that she arrived to her destination safely.
Yeah.
Very gentlemanlike of you.
I mean, I was raised to be respectful. So
just in case someone else, was by there.
Right? So the destination happened to be the closest gas station. I was about as much of me as I could be at like 20 years old. And I get out the car. Her sister gets out the car, comes up to me and proceeds to cuss a lot, telling me to leave that lady alone, and then like cussed at her, telling her to shut up and get back in the car, right? Long story short, we exchanged phone numbers.
The dog.
Yo.
So
Keanu.
It
were 20?
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's so funny.
She was like the vice president of like 7 bank locations.
Hell
Also,
yeah.
to be clear, her daughter was older than me. And I was very clear about my intentions. So yeah, that we are not the same, Jonah, I guess. At least in our 20s, we were not the same. I guess that show can go both directions.
And the crazy thing is, you're still in contact with her, and you get hard money loans from her now, right?
This is
bank loan, literally.
That's.
I feel like Jonah's story is like a classic, having expectations, not meeting reality. DQ, you knew what you were getting into.
There you
Because
go.
there were no lies.
In fairness, and I had like a pretty clear preview as to the scenario on the freeway. So lady Ashley, you have mentioned, and I don't know if you want to share them here, but I would genuinely be interested in hearing some of the ladies' maybe not so positive date stories.
I mean, there's a lot. But they're not necessarily like don't put the limitations on me, because I have some stories that are not necessarily first date stories. So, third date story, went out to dinner with this guy a couple times. Great conversation, seemed to have a good head on his shoulders. Good vibes. Third date, go back to his place. There are holes punched in all of his walls.
Oh, that's scary.
And I was like, why would you bring me back to your place when you clearly have anger issues? He's like, then he starts going into like this sob story about which mental illness is real, right? But still, like, clearly needed to get under control. How he, goes through depression, then he gets angry. Well, he was a pharmacist by night and a day trader by day. So he's just like getting angry at stocks, punching walls all day. So
That's right. That actually makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, okay, how do I get out of here as fast as possible? This is not, can't have the anger issues. Goodbye. Love you. Can't have the anger issues. Can't deal with that. No, thank you.
Okay. Tell your daughter
I'd
bye.
be scared.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, that's concerning. Did you go on a fourth date?
No. No, and then
Kiata.
You never know.
And then like I made up an excuse to get out of there. Like I was like, my children are burning my house on fire. I need to leave. Like my house might burn down. I made an excuse to get out of there like right away. And then he's like messaging me like, and I'm like, dude, sorry, I can't date somebody with obvious anger issues. It's just not a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah,
and then he like went off on me and was like blowing up my phone, and yeah.
Did he send you a picture of another hole in the wall and said, "This one was you"?
This one
No,
was
but
you.
I'm sure that happened.
That would have been hilarious.
That's crazy. Oh, is that your like worst story? Or is that just one of the many? Like, do you have a
No,
lot
that's
of
just
stories
one
like
that's like brief.
That's wild.
No, going back to like not getting in people's car earlier, bringing that conversation back around. There was one time I was out with my friends and I was like desperately looking for one of my friends. Like I had lost track of her. And I was showing people around us pictures. And this guy is like, oh, he's like, I saw her. She's like a mile down the road. He's like, come get in my car. Come with me. And he's
Did
like,
you
I'll
not
take
go
you.
to first grade?
Huh?
Did you
Well,
not go to
I
first-
didn't get in the car. And then like 2 minutes later, I turn around and she's right there. But yeah, like legitimate attempted kidnapping. So yeah, I don't get in people's cars.
Oh my God. That was like a bad dream. Like that's the plot of a bad dream. I'm walking around. I can't find my friend. I'm showing people her picture in my phone.
Yeah.
That's
So I'm really
crazy.
sorry that I didn't, go on that accidental first date to give you a story today.
No, I think it's better for white van free candy.
Really though.
Jess, you got any good ones?
I don't think I have any like interesting first date stories other than my almost murder. But I already shared that, and it turned out fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that you caused, which is good. Jonah, do you think there's somebody else in an alternate universe doing a lady podcast with one of her friends talking about dates and you're the story, right? Do you think that?
Oh, like I'm the bad story?
Yes.
I'm not that bad. I'm definitely not like I punched a hole in the wall. Definitely, I've definitely had a few where like but some girls are just so weirdly particular. I had a girl once tell me who eventually this wasn't really a dating. This was like more of a hooking up thing. But like she told me she almost didn't do it because like when I was texting her, I wasn't using correct grammar, right? So I know she literally told me she was talking with her girlfriends that she shouldn't hook up with me because she didn't even think I was an idiot. I just wasn't texting with like punctuation, which I was just like, I don't know. Like I didn't think that would be that big of a deal when I'm like 22, right? So I know I have been technically, except that one worked out in the end anyways. But there was one time I took a girl out on a first date and it was like getting dinner. It's hard for me to remember, either she changed the time or I changed the time or something. But for some reason I ate beforehand. So I almost just didn't get anything to eat. I was just like, yeah, I'm not really hungry. I'm here to hang out. And I think that made her feel super weird. And then I realized that made her feel super weird. So then I ended up ordering a hamburger anyways. And then I was just incredibly stuffed and it was like a whole thing where like that might have been a thing too. But I can't think of like many other times where that would have been like, that was like I was crazy bad or anything. Just certain girls are picky sometimes, right?
Okay.
But I can understand the food one. I think girls feel, I mean, obviously that's just kind of weird in general to just like go to a restaurant and then be like, yeah, I'm not going to eat anything.
Yeah, that is a little bit weird.
So it was just like a little weird in general. That's probably the weirdest thing I did ever on like a first date where I was the other person. But probably, you never know.
Probably all are, right? I didn't do a lot of like dating like that. I've never been a big dater. So I think I remember one time. Who here, any of y'all remember restaurants.com?
Let's look it up right now. I'm
Again,
gonna look it up right now.
Children, and it's fine. It's not an archive back with the yellow pages. It's not a business anymore. So it was a website that basically you could go.
Right here.
I don't think well, it's not the same iteration, but essentially what you could do is you could go to restaurant.com and buy gift certificates to restaurants for like way cheaper, right? So I did on a first date one time. I used a restaurants.com coupon. Like I took the date to where I had the coupon, which was not in and of itself bad because you could have made it slick, but they were giving me a problem with it. So I had to like debate with the server about the validity of the restaurants.com coupon in the date. And I'm not about to take an L, right? Here's the thing. Because for me, it became a negotiation at that point. On principle with the restaurant, I wasn't about to just take that L. It's not that I couldn't have paid for the dinner the rest of the way. I just wasn't about to take the L. So that's probably one where she was like, she probably thought I was a freaking weirdo.
This girl's like, this guy's so fucking cheap.
Did the card go through?
Yeah, no, the card went through, but after they accepted my freaking coupon that I paid for.
Yeah, so you won the night, bro.
Mike,
you saved the night. What are you talking about,
Mike? I feel like you got to have some kind of awesome.
Yeah, Mike. What's your story, dude?
You know, Mike's got. You don't have that. You don't have that hairline without stories.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I have so many stories that they probably take Daniel the Cajano's YouTube page down.
Like that.
Damn. Some of the stories,
let's risk it.
That's a big flag.
Nah. I might get canceled. And this is pre before I gave my life to God. So it was bad. But anyways, just one that I can kind of think of where you asked the question, where am I on the other side of it? There was one time in high school that I was texting this chick. We didn't really hang out yet. Never went on any dates, and it was Valentine's Day, and she agreed to come over. Okay, and I thought I was slick. I was like, hey, we're gonna hang out at my house. You know what? I'm gonna do you something a little nice before you get over. So I went to her car. This is after school. I bought one rose. But not the whole thing, like just one rose, a pack of cigarettes, and some wine.
What the fuck?
Yo, listen.
Did you go watch that, like the TGIF or whatever it was?
Yeah, literally.
So
drive-in movie.
They broke into a baseball stadium after that, I think.
So I laid it out nice on the car seat and everything. I'm like, man, listen, tonight is about to be the night. I got crickets. It comes to like 6 p.m. That's when she was supposed to come over. Nothing. I'm like, all right, maybe she's just a little late. 6:30, nothing. On 7:30, yo, what's up, yo? Come to find out, she went on a different date and broke Mike's heart.
That's sad.
But it was the gift, bro. I learned that day a very, very, very valuable lesson. A pack of cigarettes is not a good gift.
That's so funny. Did you learn that day? Because she didn't even show up. So, like, how did you actually learn it that day?
Because I had to think about this, bro. I'm like, wait, well, I thought it was a good idea because I was analyzing her. I seen what she did. I never smoked cigarettes before, but like,
what brand of cigarettes? Was it like Newports?
A Newports, bro.
How'd I know it was Newports? Like, this whole story, it had to be Newports. There's no other pack of cigarettes that would have been sufficient.
I thought I was so good because I figured out, and I never smoked cigarettes in my life, but I went out and figured out what type of cigarettes that she smoked. I had to actually do some research. I like looked in her card and tried to see what type of cigarette she had. So I went to the store and got them, and man, it didn't hit, bro.
I think the bigger lesson is don't go for girls who smoke cigarettes.
I agree.
Shots fired.
That was by the way, that's a lesson that I learned. That might have been the second valuable lesson. Because I never went after another chick that smoked cigarettes.
Smart man. You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a wild vibe. Those chicks are wild vibes. So yeah, stay away from the cigarettes.
Lessons on lessons.
By the way, I don't think people smoke cigarettes anymore. I don't think that's a thing.
No, it's definitely a thing.
I mean, some people do.
I think it's still a thing. You could have done Black and Milds, right? Like that would have been an upgrade to
she
the
probably would have came to the crib.
She would have went to the crib.
Yeah.
If you did the Black and Milds. I'm just throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Something to think about. Tales of Love in the Hood.
Mm.
Love it.
Oh, this is fun. Jonah,
This is fun.
any final thoughts, man, on this dating topic? I don't
I
feel
think
like
it's
we
great.
came. I don't think we came to any conclusion. I think the problem is.
What do you
we had a
mean?
bunch-
He literally just came to the conclusion: don't buy a pack of cigarettes
Don't
on
buy
the
a pack
first
of
date.
cigarettes. That is the big takeaway here. The big takeaway of today is don't buy your date cigarettes.
Yeah, what do you mean? Well, that's the conclusion. You know what
That
I
is
mean?
the conclusion, right?
Mhm.
The problem is we had a bunch of reasonable people here, right? Next time we do a
Yeah, we
topic
need to
like
invite
this,
crazy people. That's true. We need
yeah,
a few more crazy people
who
invited.
really are like not reasonable. What do you mean ditch, babe? Like you mean like Mike's date ditched him? When he
bro.
Leave in the middle of a date.
or like
You
in
leave
the middle of a date, like you eat and then chuck deuces. Has anybody done that?
I almost never do it. I didn't even do it for the catfish lady. Like it's just not something I do
feel like that's
usually.
rude. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do that to somebody. Like even I don't care if you're on a no, that's a lot. Babe, have you done that?
Go to the bathroom and then just never come back.
And then just never come back. I feel like ladies are gonna do that more than dudes are gonna do that.
You gotta be cold hearted for that.
That's a lot.
I have one, but he's gonna kill me if I share it.
But that's
My
exactly why you
boyfriend.
should share it. That's exactly why you can share it.
You might get canceled on your podcast.
Okay.
All right.
We are not
Canceled episode
responsible.
1 would be
We are
so
not
funny.
responsible for the opinions of other.
Yeah, we need to put a banner. We're not responsible for the
Just a
opinions of
banner.
other people we bring on.
So before I met my boyfriend, he spent like 8 months traveling through Southeast Asia. And he was doing like Bumble, Tinder, meeting girls like that. And there was one girl that gorgeous pictures. He was all excited to meet her, invited him over to her apartment. He gets over there, he like buzzes up and knocks on the door, and some like dude dressed
It's a
as a
freaking
girl
guy. What the heck?
answers the door. And he just like pulls him in real quick and shuts the door. And he was like, "Hey, can you want a beer?" And he was so shocked that he was like, okay. And he's like checking the lid, and he's like trying to figure out how to get out of it without being a dick. And then
Literally.
eventually, yeah. Well, then he was just he ditched in the middle. So
It was a lady boy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was just a
Yeah.
dude. It sounds like.
Wait, was it like a cross dresser, or was it like a legit like had like a what's that one phrase? There's
That's
never
what you
any.
say, don't get canceled.
yeah, that's
What-
I'll dance around the part.
One phrase.
I think lady boy is the scientific term. I don't know. Like that's what they call
There's
themselves out there.
no,
What
it's
goddamn
like-
science class did you
What were
take?
they
You know,
identifying?
where
Yeah.
That's the scientific term.
Yeah. Scientific
Southeast
What
Asian,
the-
that's what they say.
geometry to the angle.
What were they
Um,
identifying as that day?
A girl.
Was it?
Oh God.
Was
Dang,
it,
so
is
how
it
did we
a-
find out that it was you know,
Was it
Like
just
that.
obvious?
It's
Did
obvious.
he tell? It's just one of those.
Very
things.
obvious.
Was it
Good for
okay?
him though.
Was it- was
Imagine
it-
he
was it
found out the other way.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
stayed.
my
Literally, yeah.
He ended up staying.
I don't know. What are you doing in that situation, Eddie? Like what happens if you go out, right? Because some people dress, everybody has their own lifestyles. I respect that. What happens if you're out and you're on a date, you're dancing, right? As you clearly stated, you and your mustache have this the mustache magnetism, right? So you're out, you're doing your thing, hitting the bachata, and you're dancing. Somebody comes up, dresses nice, smelling pretty, everything's good, and you find out there's bulges where there's not supposed to be bulges, but you guys have already advanced the evening farther than you would have cared to admit previously. Like, what's Eddie's reaction in this situation? Are
I
you like,
cannot-
hey, I'm
there's-
committed, let's just take this the rest of the way? Are you
Hey,
like,
I'm committed. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, I don't
You're
know.
not.
Eddie did
You're
say
not
that he
committed.
attracts people.
I don't know how that's how it works, DQ.
I'm
not
asking. I've
committed,
never
dog.
been in this
Yeah.
situation.
Look,
Better question, DQ. Would you consider yourself
Yes.
committed at that point?
I'm in a
Yeah.
relationship.
Like, after
you know, so I
finishing.
wouldn't be in this circumstance. If I find out at this point, me and Yvonne have to have an entirely different conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, first and foremost, guys, like I don't judge when it comes to that stuff. Like, yeah, like you'll laugh at you joke around here and there and whatnot, but like at the end of the day, it's like I don't judge. If like someone does that, like I'm not gonna make them feel bad about themselves. I'm simply just gonna say, all right, I'm gonna go over here, and then I'm gonna look at Tyler and be like, bro, did you see that? That would have been bad. Literally. but I don't judge them in the sense of like, oh look, it's
you don't need to judge anybody. Yeah, of course not.
It's a chick. No, because I have people that are like, I have friends, and I know people that would have been like, yo, bro, you like, they would have got pissed. Like, I'm talking about like fighting, and at that point, I don't know if you go to jail or not because you hit a girl or a guy. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So
I have noticed. I had a friend where that actually did happen. I think it's very. I mean, I know we're supposed to get to the end of the podcast, and this would be much more of a serious turn. But at least in my head, I found it so strange. He was like upset. He wasn't like gonna do anything about it, but he was very, 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 very upset. And in my head, I wouldn't be upset. I'd just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I can't do anything." I feel like if I invited you all the way over, be like, "Hey, like, yeah, I'd probably could have." Like, I mean, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I could like just call you an Uber. I'd be like, I guess.
Well, what if it's like already physical? Like you guys are already at like second base,
making out.
Yeah.
I honestly, in my head, if we had made out and like it got there and I'm like, oh, you have a penis. You're not committed. I would just be like, oh, this is a mistake. I'm sorry.
This is a hard one.
I understand.
Yo, hold on now. Hold on now.
Nah. Be like, I'm not in.
Nah, bro.
I'm sorry. I'm out.
No.
I can get you an Uber.
This
or
is a
something.
sticky situation. What do I do?
Oh my God, dude. That's what you said.
Hey, I was at a music festival one time, and we go up to the bar, and these two ladylike men are looking at me and a buddy, and they're like, "Hey, you guys want some drinks?" And we're like, "Sure." They bought us drinks, and then we walked away. So nothing happened. But
you're one of those females that do that. I mean, males.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I'm gonna take a free
drink. You just want to take the drinks.
Drinks are like $20 a pop. Why would you not?
Yeah.
You like playing with fire, Tyler.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
little do you know, do you remember that night?
Could have been a possibility. They would have been the perfect candidate to slip something in your.
And then I got drugged, and I don't remember that.
And then you got drugged.
And certain parts of him were sore the next morning.
Yeah. Then he calls back and says, "Hey, what was in that drink?"
Can I have another one of those?
Yeah, can we have another one drink, please? Yeah.
It's way smoother than I thought it would be.
All right.
No, but these are real situations, right? Like I think these are things that happen. I think it's interesting. I agree that everybody allowed to live their life the way they are, but I think that certain things you should probably be a little bit more transparent and upfront about. But I don't know. Fortunately, I've not been in a situation where I've had been bamboozled or catfished. Right? I've never been catfished before. Fortunately. Jonah was catfished, but he was very polite about it. And I think, I don't know, is that the way to do it? Do you stay polite or do you use Chuck Deuces? I think you'd be polite. Is that the right thing?
Yeah.
No.
Depends if they're disrespectful about it. Like here's the thing. Like Tyler knows. Not do I. And again, for some reason both people side of the world love to hit on me sometimes, right? And so there's a fine line of me saying, look, I'm not interested. Right, versus them like really getting obnoxious and annoying to a point where you're like, all right, bro, like you got to either back off or we're gonna have some issues. You know what I'm saying? So there's that level, but when you get catfish like Jonah, bro, like,
nah, that's disrespect, bro. They disrespected you first.
Yeah, like that's like
I was so shocked the entire time that I was just like, what I don't know. It was very shocking. I feel like it would have been fine to have just left. But yeah, I don't know. I just was just like, what, listen, whatever.
She bamboozled you first. Like you can bamboozle back. You have more.
I could have. It would have been. I think it would have been in my right to just leave. But at that point, here's like how I thought about it in the moment was like, fuck it. I kind of want ice cream anyways. So I'm just gonna get this ice cream right now, anywho. And it's like, whatever. I'll talk to this like 50-year-old woman and just hang out, I guess. I don't fucking know. It was I don't know.
So honestly, you didn't do it for her feelings. You did it for the mint chocolate chip.
I think it was like a mint chocolate chip, and it was like I think I also did feel weird just leaving. Although Mike, I agree with you. Like I could have just left and it would have been fine, right? I think it was a mix of both of those in that, and also just I felt really awkward in that moment. I think I was just stunned by her blatant like I was just stunned when she said, "Yeah, that was me 25 years ago." I think that just stunned me. Where I'm like, how?
At least she was honest about it.
Am I confused? Like I got. Anyways, I just got. Anywho, that was like one of the weirdest.
You said that was Bumble,
I've
right?
That was Bumble.
Do they share ages on there?
Yeah, she was 23 on her age. Like,
okay.
She's not even here to do this. My aunt does the same thing. My aunt is, I think, around 60 or in her 60s, and she puts like she's in her 40s on her social media. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? And she's like,
Yeah.
"Ew, have you seen the guys my age?" And so,
yeah, Jesus.
in fairness to her, she does not. She's a much more active person for anybody in her age group. I don't know that there are many humans on the planet that are in her age range that could keep up with her energy. She's out doing stuff probably more than us, right? She's definitely forever 29. She has so much energy. So, but yeah, I would imagine dudes have shown up and been like, bruh, there's a little bit of a difference here. And then she wonders why they get mad. All right. Wholesome takeaway. What's the wholesome takeaway here? Right? I think you guys are a good example of that because you guys are all decent people. I think everybody here sees the value in being kind. The reality is dating is tough. Like dating is really, really tough, right? You can go out on a date with someone and go back to their house and see nothing but holes in the wall. Or you can go back to their house and then stay together for 7 years. Or you can go back to their house and bring other girls with you because they're in a relationship with somebody that lives in Chicago. There's all different versions of this story. But I think to Eddie's point, I don't know. I think here's what's funny. All jokes aside, it's funny to hear the different stories and how people's history and past impacts so much their dating in the future. And it should make us think, like, how many of us are making decisions in the people that we're in a relationship with currently or we're considering that are really just based off of bad crap that we've been through in the past. And then the next question is that serving us? You know what I mean? It's worked out for some of us, right? Like I think for some of us, we got to a good place. For some of us, maybe it's still holding us back. I don't know. I think that's an interesting question, but I think it's definitely one that we should ask because I think a lot of us find ourselves making dating decisions based on what, right? Like, is it really based on what we want? Is it based on other people's opinions? Is it based on bad past experiences? I don't think that any of that's really helpful for anybody. But here we are making really, really important life decisions based off of stuff that really doesn't make sense if we actually thought about it. I don't know. That's my takeaway, John. What about you?
My takeaway is don't buy the pack of cigarettes, because I was thinking of that one for the next one, That's going to be my takeaway. I don't know. There's all sorts of good takeaways. I mean, I just love how I think it's always good to just remember that everyone has a story, right? Bad stories, good stories, hilarious stories, screw up stories. So if you have one that you're particularly embarrassed about when you were listening to this podcast, if you want like the wholesome takeaway, realize we've all screwed up. We've all done cringe stuff. So yeah, don't worry about it too much. Yeah, don't buy cigarettes on the first date.
Boom. Okay. All right. So this was the first official episode of Profit and Paradox, where we're going to talk about all kinds of random, weird stuff. And we're going to hear a bunch of different perspectives on it. For the people who were here hanging out with us today, what do you guys think? Are we crazy? Is this a stupid idea? Or should we keep doing it?
Funny.
It was funny.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Next week, you want to tell about next week's topic? It's going to be a completely different vibe. Like this is seriously, this whole podcast is going to be very different subjects every single week. Keanu, hit him with next week's topic. It's going to be much different.
Next week's topic, the education system. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hold on. Let me do this. Boom. There we go.
It's going to be
it's a hard left turn.
It's going to be very different type of vibe.
Education system. Should you go to college? Is college stupid? Should everybody go to college? Should nobody go to college? What about before college? Is our education system trash? Are teachers poisoning kids' minds? or are they fostering the greatness of the future? Should we just all homeschool? All of the different topics. I think that this is yes, correct, Crystal. I think that's actually there you go, right? Look at Believe in Yourself. Look at his comment.
Yeah,
there
I mean,
are
people
a
have
lot
very
of
different
opinions around the education system, especially right now. Some of the stuff that they're teaching in school right now is really, really interesting. Next week, we're getting into the whole thing. I want to see people who went to college. I want to see people who hate college. And I want to see people who have kids in public school, private school, who don't have kids, but like deciding, like, Tyler, what's your opinion on school, right? Like, you're going to probably have kids some point. Do you have an opinion as to what the school situation is?
100%. You want me to give it now or next episode?
No, that's a next episode situation.
That's a next episode.
I got a question for you guys. How do you decide who to invite to each episode?
Jawline. Everybody here has a fantastic jawline.
That's it. Honestly, we have no idea. Is the real one, dude? I have one of those. Does it actually work? I might have. I don't know. I feel like I got scammed. Like, I got one of those things. I'm like, damn, will that work?
Yeah.
Will that make a better jawline?
Tyler's the infomercial king.
I'll give you my extra one.
What the heck did you just do, bro?
That was a jawline exerciser. It exercises your
jawline, right, dog?
Jawline.
Yeah, bro. It's a muscle thing, right? It exercises the muscles in your jaw, so your jawline gets right.
Yeah, so you guys have shredded jawlines, like
yeah.
That beard off, you'd have a 6-pack on your jawline.
I just got
it. Chin.
That's
Gains.
Badass.
I'm gonna comment of the night right here.
Yeah. Do we know who the CEO
is? That's the comment of the night right here. Joe, we didn't get you up. You kept popping out, man, but we're gonna have to get you up here on the next one. Guys, this is what Profit and Paradox is all about. Next week, we're gonna be talking about education. We're gonna get into some of that kind of topic. Then we're gonna get into some other stuff. We're gonna probably talk about some business stuff. We'll get into some more relationship stuff. We'll get into life stuff. We may get into some weird conspiracy stuff, right? There was a guy who went into a shed and time traveled. Maybe, I don't know. We'll talk about all of the.
Maybe you will find out next time on Profit and Paradox.
It kind of looked like Jonah, actually.
Oh, it's me.
Look like Jonah, bro.
It really did.
You just take screenshots. Whoa.
It was definitely Jonah. We're gonna have to bring Jonah back so we can talk about this. But that being said, guys, really, really appreciate you. If you guys did enjoy this, take a screenshot, share a link on your social media, tell people to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We don't have a set podcast channel for this yet, so we're using mine and Jonah's respective social medias. So go to either one of our social medias, turn on the notifications, subscribe, follow, do all the different things. And guys, we really just want to do cool stuff. Again, I'm going to reiterate this before we close out. When Jonah and I were talking about this, the conversation was, how do we do something that's just different, what nobody else is doing in our space? So we're going to talk about business, but we're going to talk about all the stuff because life is more than just business and work. And so we just want to talk about these things. I think that all of us collectively have our own life experiences. And I think being able to share your experiences is valuable to the people that are listening. And it's also funny, right? Because we can all have a good time with it. So it's going to be really, really fun. Hopefully you guys go and share this, tell your friends about it. Every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we will be here having fun conversations. You guys have ideas for topics, send them over to us, and we're going to be here to talk about it. Any final thoughts? Anybody here? Jonah?
You killed it, Keanu. I mean, I can't end it better than that. I love you guys. Thank you, every single one of our guests. Appreciate you guys for being on. You guys are all killers in your own way. I love all of you guys. And yeah, no, let's just keep doing it. Next week, education. Let's see if we can make that funny, you know?
Boom. Guys, if you have heated opinions, I need you to bring them. I want drama and sauce next week. I want people fighting, like throwing hands. Tyson is going to be a one fight. I want this one next week to be even better. That being said, y'all have an amazing week. See you guys next week, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.